Okay, so here's a spoiler alert. All Nazarite vows nowadays are Nazarite-maxxing. All of them, without a temple, without the altar, the sacrificial offerings, and so on. All Nazariteship is Nazarite-maxxing. If you're a Hebrew man or woman, and you take on the Nazarite vow, it is for life. That's the way that it goes. So you can take it for a set period of time, and your days will be fulfilled, but you won't be able to fulfill the vow all the way without a temple, without the altar. Okay, let's see. Am I live? Hang on. Oh, okay. Can you hear me? Can you see me? It's all good? Okay. No, I can't. Wait, I'm trying to get me on the laptop so I can address your questions better if any arrive. Okay, and I am here with a cup of coffee. And I have a day off from work, which is lovely. Several days off. Okay. Still weird for me to have commercials on my channel. Hi. Hey, Dale User is here. James is here. John Anthony is here. What kind of work do you do? I'm a writer. I'm a writer. Hello. Hey, Jose. How you doing? Shabbat Shalom says Tovia Singer. Singer. Well, no, I'm not. I haven't really engaged with his YouTube videos or his teachings. I know that he's really, really popular, but I don't know anything about him. Tell me, what about Reb Tovia Singer? What do you think about him? Okay, wait, skipping the commercials. Yes. Hang on. Okay, good, we're good. How does the Nazir work without the temple? It's the same vow as any Nazarite vow, only it's unending. Also, my vow is a Samson vow, which is from the onset for life. John Anthony says, hit the like button. Thanks, man. So for a set period of time, it doesn't work. If you take it for life and you want to shave every 12 months, as some Nazarites can, the question of whether or not do you bring the offerings, do you burn the hair, do you go through the whole process but continue the vow? These are halakha questions, right, in rabbinic law. But nowadays, without a temple, any Nazariteship you take on, whether it's a Samson Nazariteship, a limited period of time, right, a set period of time Nazariteship, a lifelong Nazariteship, or a Nazarite for life, two different things, right? Nazir olam and Nazir le'olam, two different definitions of what that is. One little letter makes a big difference. How are you people? Where am I finding you? This fine Thursday noon, almost, top of the morning. It would be illegal in my country to draw you, says Kisnish. Yes, you're not the first one to say that, and I'm inclined to think that wherever, if you have any laws against, I don't know, I mean, cartooning, then yes, maybe you will get imprisoned. Maybe for life. It's not temporary. No, my Nazariteship, I took it 16 years ago, and I hope to go to my grave, still under this vow, be in the cold, cold ground, and the Nazariteship stays. So no, it's not temporary, and if you do take a temporary Nazarite vow, again, your days are fulfilled, but you may only fulfill the vow completely, thoroughly, with a temple. Hey, Anonymous is here. Have a wonderful day, he says, and you, all of you out there. Jose says, so when the temple is built or tabernacle, can waiting Nazarites complete the vow at that point? So yes, very famously in the book of Maccabees 1, before the Maccabees take back the temple, before the rebellion against those Greeks or Macedonians takes place in full and the temple is liberated, the people of Israel gather the priests and Nazarites who had fulfilled their days, and they were fasting and they were praying. I think some also brought fruit. I don't recall, right, of the first fruit, though I might be mistaken because that happened in winter. So I'm not remembering that correctly. But the priests, the praying, the fasting, the Nazarites who had fulfilled their days were there, and others were there as well. And they were mourning the loss of the temple and praying for deliverance, which indeed came because they went for it. So yes, the Nazarites who complete their days and then the temple is built, or a tabernacle, then yes, they will be able to fulfill their vow completely. Are you Christian or Jewish? I'm very, very Jewish. I'm a Hebrew man, Stephen. How about you? Hi, Nazari Satya from Hyderabad. Which profession you are? Hello there in India. I am a, wait, hold on a second. Telling my woman I'm live. She'll have to write something. Okay. As a Jewish religious man, who do you feel about the Jewish hip-hop group? Well, first of all, I'm not a religious man. I grew up religious. I consider myself, outside of that label. Not completely. I do my own thing, but the label religious doesn't sit well with me. I'm just a regular Hebrew man. And as a Jewish man, I'm a fan of Beastie Boys. I don't know their discography, front to back, but yeah. I mean, when Intergalactic came out, and things like Sabotage, things from Paul's Boutique, and later with the Hello Nasty, I really loved those two albums because they were just where I got into them. But they have a whole other, right? A lot of other CDs, records. Okay. So you're in for the long cruise on the Nazarite ship. Yes, hello, Pa. Hey, Pa, how you doing? Hello. Oh, okay. And I'm a writer. Katla. What does katla mean? I'm curious. Okay, scrolling down. Do you like fish sticks? I'm vegan. I do not partake of fish. Back when I did partake of fish, I was very fond of fish sticks. Yes. Why don't you trim your beard and get a haircut? Because my hair is a Nazarite hair, so I don't cut it and I let it lock up, freely and grow wild. And my beard is just a part of the Jewish thing, part of the Hebrew thing. It's a manifestation of what I feel is it's a manifestation of where I am spiritually, let's say, right? Okay. Let's continue scrolling down. I'm Cuban, so you can call me Tony like in Scarface. Hey, Kevin, or Tony. Antonio. Cuba. Yeah, Scarface, what a movie. I didn't see the original. I only saw the Brian De Palma remake. It is a remake, right? King Without, RHU. Yes, I have listened to Matisiao. I like his earlier work more just because I kind of tuned out, not because he did anything wrong. I'm sure the things that he's doing nowadays or did later in the 2010s, that they were awesome. I just didn't listen back then. But yeah, his first records, definitely. Live at Stubbs is what a performance. Kisner says, I explained that poorly. Basically, I'm asking whether it's logically sound to say that Israel has a right to exist, but that it should be their fight alone. Okay, I don't know if that directly correlate to what you said before. Hey, how you doing, man? Welcome back. Beastie Boys are dope, yes, indeed. How do you know if someone is vegan? They'll tell you, hey, it's true, but I'm not a militant vegan. And he asked about fish sticks. Fish sticks. Seriously though, hey, SR, good to see you again. Why do Jewish? Yeah, because it's a cheap thing. So, well, that's neither here nor there. It's not here yet, man. Red Tail Catfish says, can I pray for you? You can pray for whomever you want. It's all good. SF says, do you believe that non-Jews are beasts? Not even a little. We're all human beings made in the image of God. We are all earthlings. And definitely not. Rabbi Yosef said, I'm assuming you mean Yosef Mizrahi or someone else, should be used for the Jews' benefit. No, humanity should be there for creation's benefit. I don't believe in that Jewish supremacy, superiority thing. I think it leads one down a dark path, at least potentially. And I can't say to myself that I wouldn't go down that path if I thought that way, a path of pride, vanity, arrogance, condescending, holier-than-thou attitudes. I'm here, you're there. No, definitely not. We're all humans. I'm from America. Where are you from? I'm in Israel, Atamor. Where are you from? East Coast, West Coast? Well, not necessarily the coast. I'm saying, what state are you in? Hey, FDF, Talmud says different. No, there is an opinion in the Talmud that is different than what I said. Halacha does not state that you must see Gentiles as beasts. They have no divine soul. They are there to serve you, and they are very much below you. And Jews are over here, and no, that's not binding to believe. It's a sage's opinion in the Talmud that did not become rabbinic law. You need to differentiate in the Talmud between, myth, folklore, legend, discussion, argument, opinions of the majority, minority, and what later became actual rabbinic law. Remember, halacha, rabbinic law, is not written in the Talmud. It is primarily where the law is derived from, but that comes later. I love you, God bless Israel. Thanks, Patriot, I appreciate that. Definitely. Pure Mexico, says Hermdog. Oh, puro, pure. Hello. Do you believe in Baal, Dr. I. Snuggles? Love the name, Dr. Snuggles. It's a pretty good name. I believe that Baal is a deity that Israel used to worship en masse. All kinds of them. Baal Peor being the more, And ever since the time of the Second Temple era, in the beginning of that era, the inclination to worship the inclination to worship false gods was taken away. The inclination to worship the Most High Hebrew God in foreign ways also went away, I believe, in the same go. What's your opinion on Israel running the American government? That it isn't running the American government, but I'm just a lowly, dumbass civilian here in Israel, so if they are running the US government, that's one hell of a feat, and you gotta give them credit for that, despite their policies. Are you a Zionist? Yes, I am. I'm a biblical Zionist and a modern-day Zionist, but I don't excuse what anybody or everybody does in the name of Zionism. Baruch ata Adonai Eloheinu, melech ha'olam, she'akol yeh bidvaro. Coffee. Okay. Continue. FDF seems like something that doesn't even need to be debated, but you seem to debate God too, so not fetched. I don't know what you mean, FDF, and I'm not a debater. We're having conversations. It's a discussion. It's an exchange of ideas. It's not I win, you lose, here are the arguments, here's a rebuttal. It's us talking. And if it does sometimes, veer into that path of debating, okay, but that's definitely not what I'm doing here. What do you think about Arab world? That it had its golden age, may it have another golden age. Arab culture brought a lot into the world, in a good way. Some would say in a bad way as well. We each have good and bad. And they conquered a ton. The expansion of the Arab world was huge and long-reaching, from Arabia, so many places. And they colonized places, Arabized places, Islamized places. That's one way to put it. And now, not all Arabs are Muslims, of course. Many of them are Christian. Many of them, 2 million of them live here in Israel, Arab Muslims, Arab Christians. And other than that, there's nothing really to say, because I don't know the Arab world intimately. I know the world here in Israel. I know the things go on here, but I wouldn't presume to say that it's the entirety of the Arab world, the entirety of the Muslim religion, the entirety of the Christian religion. That would be way too presumptuous of me. So I think it's a world that had a golden age and should have another golden age for all humanity. Why were kids shot by in their genitals by the IDF? A, I don't know if that happened. B, if somebody, an individual soldier or several soldiers with a genocidal, homicidal, psychopathic intent targeted children with no provocation, Hamas weren't there, no combatants in the area, just for the sake of harming them, hurting them, wounding them, killing them, then these are psychopaths who should go to jail, prison, really, stand a fair trial, have their voice heard, and ship them off to prison because they don't belong in the army. And I think that statesmen, leaders, politicians, and so on, who also hold these opinions and want to carry them out, emphasis on carry them out, you can think whatever you want, they should be out of the government. Anybody, genocidal, homicidal, psychopathic, should be out of the government. Also why I plan on voting after not voting for about 20 years. I'm going to vote in the next election. Here's hoping. We'll see. Patriot says we got to stick together. This radical Islamist trying to take over. They already took over UK. See, people say it's only Islam. People say, no, there's radical Islam and moderate Islam. People say the moderate, peace-loving majority is irrelevant because they don't speak up for any. It's a real tangled web of things. So I wouldn't presume to simplify it with, oh, yes, this and that. Not that I'm saying you are. I can't think that way, because all I have is the here and now. And so I definitely think that the radical Islamist element needs to be taken out of the region here. The bloodthirsty, warmongering death cults and regimes need to be taken out. We need to be radicalized, both sides. And then we can have justice, and then we can have peace. Okay, let's continue. What do you think of Hamas and Hezbollah, that they are terrorist organizations? That's what I think. Denounce the Talmud K1, K3. I'm not sure what you mean. What shampoo do you use? Some shampoo, regular pharmacy store brand shampoo. And I use a hair mask from another store brand from the Netherlands. How can I contact you? Matthew, you can hit me up in the DMs or in the chat or in the comments. Hebrew Nazarite, look for my tree. I'm on X, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram. The About section of the channel has an email. You could email me, and we shall be in contact. But, again, I'm not a debater. If you want to have a discussion, that's great. Okay. What are your opinions on the Crusades? I never learned about them in depth. I know. Okay, let's continue the comment first. They were rife with atrocities, agreed. But when you put them in the context of Islamic conquests, the wars themselves seem an obvious reaction, somehow feels relevant. It's relevant in the sense that religious people are always fighting each other. My God has a bigger penis than your God, and so on. It's a pissing contest. Now, in some ways, it's a pissing contest. In other ways, it's people holding to ideals and truths to such a degree that they are able to say, well, let's wipe everybody else out. Something the Torah doesn't say, incidentally. Or everybody should be X. Something the Torah doesn't say, incidentally. The conquests, the Christian ones, the expansions of empires, the expansions of kingdoms, it's part of the way of the world. The Crusades matter in this, are relevant in this context here and now. And this here and now is relevant to 10,000 years ago. The in-group, out-group, tribalism, the division, the hate, the racism, the bigotry. But if you're speaking just particularly about the Islamic conquests, like I said about the Arab world, Islam had a golden age. May Islam have another golden age. It can do only good for humanity when people of an enlightened nature manifest things in accordance with their spiritual path. There's something there where some would say it's completely incompatible, mutually exclusive, and others would say, no, 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 no. It's one, like what Lao Tzu says in the Tao Te Ching, the positive and the negative, they're not contradictions, they're milling stones. And through working with both of them, you can achieve something great. You need to watch what you're doing, of course. But, yeah. Does your beard get in the way when you eat? No, I trim my upper lip. I trim the mustache. It's the only thing that I trim on my face for better eating and better kissing. And the rest of it, no, it's just a free-form natural beard, free-form natural hair. I do separate the beard because my woman said, okay, look, I wanted you to have uniform dreads. That all went to hell. Look at these Congos. But please, don't let your beard dread up. Don't let your beard dread up. You did this. I'm not happy with it, she said. And that's on me, folks and neighbors. I told her I'll keep them more uniform. I'll separate more. But through times in my life where I was this and I was that, this is how it became, right? It's a free-form thing that also signifies history. But I digress. Okay. Let's continue. Are you into black magic? No, I'm not into any kind of magic per se. I'm not a magician or a sleight of hand type individual. I'm not a practical Kabbalist. I'm not a Kabbalist, right? I'm a student of the Tree of Life, but I'm not a Kabbalist. And if by black magic you mean like a magic 8-ball, I could get out that. Yeah, that I could do. If you mean putting spells on people, manipulating the laws of nature, bending the laws of physics to your will in order to bring harm, negativity, dark forces, anger, wrath, vengeance into the world, even if all the while you're thinking you're doing the righteous thing for whatever reason, I'm not a fan of that. No. Okay. Mr. Prey. Where can I contact you? I wanted to do a friendly discussion for a video. Mr. Prey, if you want to email me, feel free. The About section of my channel has the email. Hit me up in the comments. I address every single comment that is addressed to me that YouTube notifies me of. Hit me up in the DMs on X, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, Hebrew Nazarite. Look for my tree. I'm there. I don't post much, but I'm there. So if you want to have a conversation, I'm on board. I love to do it. I love engaging with people. Yeah. Okay. Did the Israelis make the Uzis? Yes, the Uzi is Israeli, the Galil is Israeli, the Galilon is Israeli, the Tavor is Israeli, and the Merkava tank is Israeli, and many other destructive weapons of war. Once again, Lao Tzu, what did he say? He said the most beautiful of weapons were meant to cause harm. Drick says, you look like you'd give sus side quests in an Elder Scrolls games. Well, I don't know the game, but hey, that's cool. I'm on board. What do you think about blacks, Local Mech says? That they have a content of melanin in their skin that is different than people with whiter skin, lighter skin, and so that's what causes the blackness. It's a genetic thing. That's what I think about blacks as a group, that they have black skin. I have a question, says Wolf. Why Israel Army puts map of Middle East on Army shirt? I don't know. Depends on the unit in question. Because if it's an Army shirt that's proper issue, right, standard issue, it will have nothing on it. If it's something that you purchase, your unit gives you as a gift, or I don't know, or you make of your own accord, a shirt for your unit, you can put whatever the heck you want on it, pretty much. Yes, melanin, sugar. Oh, honey, honey, do, 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 do. Speak in Hindi. I don't speak Hindi. I am not Indian, and I don't know the Hindu language. Do you believe that the Bible has lies? Yes, it does, research, if only in the way where there is a spirit of deception that God asks, whom shall I send, right? And the spirit of deception says, hi, I'm here, send me. And he says, okay, I shall put you in the spirit of deception, the spirit of prophecy, of deceptive nature, right? I will put you into the hearts and souls and minds and mouths of other prophets, and they shall prophesy false things. That's a lie. That's right there. And that's, the divine revelation doing that. All the way down to, Abraham when he said, well, Sarah, when she says, I give birth at 90 when my master, my partner is that old. And when God relates it to Abraham, he says that she said she was old, changing things there. So the Bible has lies in the sense that it could all be fairy tales, folklore, myth, allegorical, archetypal stories handed down from thousands and thousands of years ago. It can be divine revelation. I do believe the Torah was received by divine revelation to Moses, the great bridge between worlds. And if you're saying technically it has lies, yes, there exist many lies in the Bible. There's also a ton of truth and truths in the Bible. Jews are converting to Christianity in record numbers, says Chester. Maybe. That may be. I have no idea. What are the stats? I'm curious. In a matter of 5 minutes, we went from war to black people to the Bible being fake. Yes, this is the nature of this channel. It's, religion, faith, spirituality, self-development, philosophy, psychology, underarm farts, coffee, and, Jerusalem, Israel, Jesus, Palestine, diarrhea. Hit me. It's all good. It's all good. Do vegans drink milk or not cow's milk? Breast milk is vegan, so that's cool. But I think the only vegan breast milk, the only vegan milk is breast milk. Other milks are derived from grains, and it's a ton of water. Can you really call them milk? It's good for your cereal. Usually not great for much else. No, I don't really know, but for me anyway, because I drink my coffee black. Speaking of black, huh? Oh yes. Okay. Ew, don't covert. You mean convert? Amy says Edomites are running Israel. The Edomites is a curious thing because some say that Esau, Edom is Rome. Rome became modern day Christianity, Europe, the States, and so on. And some say, no, the Edomites that were around at the time all converted to the Hebrew faith, and they are all Jews. So what do you mean by Edomites are running Israel? Do you mean outside forces signifying Esau in rivalry with Jacob? Or do you mean Edomites who became Jews, or seemingly that whole kingdom or whatever, and then they are now running Israel? What do you mean? I'm curious. Okay. What about coconut milk? Well, my favorite vegan milk is oat milk. I've tasted coconut milk. I've tasted soy milk. I've tasted other types of milk. It's pretty good. Pretty good. Are you racist? Chat, please answer them. Am I racist? E2 Etrureleg 1ON759 asks if I'm racist. No. Why not wash your hair? Bama, I do wash my hair. I simply don't comb it. I don't brush it. I don't pull a hair out by the roots. I let it grow wild and free. I really have bad anxiety. Do you have any recommendation? Local Max says. First, if you need to, speak to a professional. Seek a physician. Otherwise, if you're talking about anxiety, is it about things that happened? Is it about things you're going through now? Is it anticipatory anxiety regarding the future? Which is the thing, if you had to categorize it, is most of a pain in your ass? Or do you mean just general anxiety? Have you been diagnosed with a disorder properly? Right? Then it calls those questions into being. Yes. Pardon me?
Oh, you jerk, don't step in my beard.
Get off my beard, you little jerk. Yeah, from Woody Allen's Love and Death. Are you a Rasta Jew? No, I'm not a Rastafarian because I don't worship Rastafari. And His Imperial Majesty, Selassie, I don't worship him as a second, coming of Jesus. I don't worship Jesus at all. And I consider him to be, a great leader to his people, but not a god or God incarnate, nor am I an Ethiopian Orthodox individual. So, yeah, but I've been told, a fine emperor and leader to his people. I've read some of his speeches, maybe not an entire speech, but different bits and pieces over the years from things he's said. He had a lot of wise things to say. But I'm not a Rasta. The Rastas take the Nazarite vow, and I am a Hebrew Nazarite, and that's why we have that in common. Let's continue. No one cares, go offline, Ahmed says. Okay, but if I went offline, who would I share this coffee with? My kids? Love you, kid. Okay. It's general anxiety, nothing I have tried worked. Well, what have you tried? What have you tried? Not that I'm just saying, you don't have to list everything, but have you tried talking to a professional? Have you tried seeking medical attention, either alternative or mainstream Western medicine? What have you tried? What have you tried and given a good amount of time to, and has it failed? It really does depend. Someone donate him some money to get a haircut, Joe says. No, no need. All the money that I get from this channel goes to charity after YouTube takes
And
its
you
cut.
can't get a haircut.
And I am not interested in getting a haircut, but I thank you for the kind sentiment. It's nice that so many people want me to be, more like them, I suppose. But you're the divine king of Jewish, me anointed by your own self, says Dylan. I don't know what that means. Prove that God exists. I don't think that God exists. Because existence means non-existence as well. And that's a duality. And God is not a duality. So God doesn't exist. God is not real. God is not alive. God is none of those things. All those words are words we use to try to convey certain meaning and ascertain certain things. But existence as you and I perceive it here and now, whether it's a digital existence or here in this, house, it's not the way that the divine exists. The divine revelation is something that we can come to grips with. The divine emanations, the clothing, the garments, the ways through which God is revealed in the world. Right, what did Morpheus tell Neo? It's the world that's been pulled over your eyes to blind you from the truth. And in this case, it's the world that has been pulled over your eyes because this is how you perceive things as a human being. You can also pull some blinds off. But in the very idea of God's existence also means the possibility of non-existence, and therefore God is not real and God does not exist. Let's continue. Can women hold any office in Judaism? Yes, they can, Chester. There is no spoon. Precisely, you are the spoon. It's not the spoon who bends, but yourself. There you go. It's so tiring that we have to search the truth through so many sources. I just want one book. I think the book that leads to the most truth is the one you write yourself of your life. And I'm not speaking in cliche or allegory. I mean, A, you should be documenting the process, maybe in writing. B, that search to have to search the truth. I think that from the onset, human beings have a pretty acute sense of that inner pain. I mean, sure, some people are psychopathic, but many people do have feelings and care for others and themselves, and they want to have a good rapport with people and so on. The truth in the book that you are writing yourself is documenting that process. So, okay. Local Mex is Western medicine, mostly by a doctor, also drugs like weed and shrooms. What would you recommend? Well, okay, weed and shrooms. First of all, if we're going to talk about substances, even if they're completely 100% organic, respect the herb, respect the mushroom, respect your body, respect your mind. Set and setting, right, are paramount. Now, weed and shrooms. What did they do? Did they make the anxiety worse? Have you tried different strains? Did you take a hero dose? 5 dried grams in a closed, room with no lights, just a secluded darkness, alone in silent darkness. Terence McKenna's hero dose. I've done that. So, weed and shrooms is way too general. You need to get, if you're talking about weed, maybe. If you're talking about shrooms, then it's a question of dosage. Then it's a question of, did you break through? What insights? Did you have the trip and integrate? Did you take the time to integrate the psychedelic experience into your life incrementally? Right? No major, huge changes, just bit by bit. It's like you need to know how to work with these plants and mushrooms. DKFGO, as a Jewish man, do you feel Zionism is against the teachings of the Torah? No, the origins of Zionism is in Torah in the book of Deuteronomy. The basic idea is God says, you are receiving this land as heritage and inheritance, not because of you. You guys suck. Your ancestors were good people, and I know that you can do better. This is the legacy. It does not belong to you. Land belongs to the Creator. I'm giving it to you as an inheritance. You be stewards and caretakers, much like humanity is of the stewardship and caretakership of planet Earth, the spaceship Earth. And so we arrived there, we conquered, we genocided the 7 nations, almost. as we were commanded. And then we settled that place, made it the land of Israel, and then we went astray, and eventually were kicked out. And the Torah says, you will be kicked out if you go astray, but you always come back. You will repent, you will atone, you'll always come back. So the question is, does the physical come first and then the spiritual substance is put into it? Or does the spiritual come first and then we move towards the physical land? This is the crux of the matter, the modern day Zionists. Because no, even those who are anti-modern day Zionism, the origins of which is in the 19th century, secular socialist ideas coming out of the Enlightenment and the scientific revolution and so on, and they were saying it has nothing to do with covenant, nothing to do with God's promise thousands of years ago. No, this is our ancestral home. It always has been. A presence of Jewish people has maintained there for thousands of years. Let's all go back. So even those people who are against that Zionism, will agree that the Zionism that is depicted and spoken of in the Torah is one that is wanted and desired because it coincides with repentance, with tshuva, with returning to the Torah and its commandments and the Hebrew covenant. The teachings, Zionism is not against the teachings of the Torah. There are some people who would say that the modern day Zionists transgressed when they didn't wait for the spiritual to come first. A prophecy, the spirit of prophecy to return, and we being directed there by a prophet, or a clean sign, right? Like anointing a king, something spiritual that has a spiritual element to it as well. An angel and an apparition to the people saying, go forth. And some people are saying, right, that should have happened first. Free Palestine says feast. I agree. Free them from Hamas, free them from Fatah, free them from Aqsa Brigade, free them from the Palestinian Authority. Death cults, the lot of them. I'm sorry. They're there, unless they ate them all. Stop killing children. Gladly, Sankara. Tell Hamas to lay down their arms. Stop embedding themselves into the civilian population. Stop getting the death toll to rise for purposes of martyrdom and propaganda. Tell them to stop using them as cannon fodder. Tell them to stop putting their weapons, caches and combatants and headquarters and so on in mosques and schools and homes and hospitals and UNRWA vehicles and Red Crescent vehicles. Tell them to cut the crap. Then we can have peace. Stop stealing land. You do not steal land. The land that has been stolen, I will stand side by side with you and say that's wrong. But most of the land here in Israel is either the result of it being sold or the spoils of a war that we didn't start, or people fleeing of their own accord at the behest of their leaders. And so, it's not stolen. It's our ancestral home. It's not only our home, to be sure. Many other people live here. We should live here side by side in peace and prosperity. However, that doesn't seem to be the case with the Palestinian leadership that rejects every single peace deal and continues to invalidate Israel and fight against us with horrible...
And they die, eventually.
No, hopefully no. You sick, bro, fake Jew. Actually, thank God, by the grace of the Most High, I'm a relatively healthy individual. I am sick in other ways. Your bro? Let's go with that. I'll be your bro. Fake? Yes, I'm exceedingly fake. This, however, is not persona, unfortunately for you. This is actually me doing my thing. Jew! So I go more with Hebrew. Jew is a little too limiting. It's the remnants of the kingdom of Judah. People of Judea, Benjamin, and parts of Levi, which I am a part of. But Jew has so many connotations and so many different associations. Hebrew is more all-encompassing, right? Right? You know what I'm saying? You know? Oric. Oh, wait. I need to see the username. Darn it. Hang on a second. Blue. Oh. Come on. The chat jumped. I'm sorry. Where is it? Oh, there's... Oh, it won't give me the name. I want to say the name. Hold on. Let's go to your channel. I want to say the full username. Orikos. Hi, Orikos. Hello. Thank you for your donation. Everything you give to this chat, ad revenue, super chat, super thanks, super stickers, all of that goes to charity after YouTube takes its cut. So, yeah. And you can look at my community tab. I have receipts. I have the places that I gave to. It's all on the up and up. Okay. You look healthy, says Artur T. Okay. The exiles of the Jews will begin again. It really is likely if we transgress, if we don't keep the Torah, if we don't keep the covenant, if we go against the will of the divine revelation, and we don't keep what we're supposed to be keeping, we don't do our job, don't fulfill our purpose, yeah, we will be kicked out, but we will always make a comeback to Zion. We will always make a comeback. Yes, what is it, dear?
Look at the colors.
Oh, that's beautiful. What a beautiful looking plum. The meat on that is awesome. By the way, what do you think of capitalism? Some random guy says. I think you've asked this before. I am not versed enough in economics and theory of economics to give you a good addressing of the question, but I will say that I've been told by people who know a lot more than me that out of all the different systems, capitalism seems to be the one with the least amount of problems overall at scale, and that it overall is helping more than harming, although there is a period of harm in capitalism and free markets where places are taken over and so on, and it has to do with a wider lens, a wider spectrum of, well, analysis, I suppose. So I can give you just my immediate thing. I was born in Israel. It has some socialist elements. It has many capitalist elements ever since the 90s, more so. Netanyahu, I think, at the time, as the Minister of Finance or the Treasurer or whatever he was, Minister of the Treasury, whatever he was at the time, he was pushing this capitalist free market thing. And so we have less socialist elements now in the state of Israel than we did before. I think it has been to the benefit of Israel, but I don't have enough know-how. I don't have enough knowledge to give you, a real broad thing. Oh, wait, another super chat came in. Okay. Bless to my bro, N-word sprained his ankle in Gaza. Well, at least it's just a sprain. It can get better, right? If he needs physical therapy, he should get physical therapy and all that. Hang on a second. Why can't I see the usernames of the people who... So, hang on a second. Here. Parazoid. Parazoid 2. Thank you for your donation. It's awesome. What do you think of all the hate comments in this chat? I welcome the haters. I welcome the lovers. I welcome the vitriol slingers and insulters. I welcome the Nazis and the trolls and the spammers. I welcome the Christians and the Muslims and the Baha'i and the Shinto and the Druze and the Rastas, and everybody is welcome here. No mods, no bans, no filters, no timeouts. Nothing. YouTube has this like minimal censorship that they employ, so if you say something truly racist that's on their watch list, or, controversial, they won't let it through and I won't see it. Mea culpa. They are a culpa. But other than that, yeah. What is the difference between the house of Hillel and Shammai? Traditionally speaking, the house of Hillel was more on the right side, the right hand, and the house of Shammai was more the left hand, or pillar. And this pertains to the idea of chesed and din, which is kindness and judgment, or loving kindness and narrowness, limitation. The right hand is the hand that's always giving. It's the chamsa, if you've seen it, the open hand that's always giving. The left hand is the hand that pushes away, or the hand that keeps too close. Both of them are necessary to come into harmony, right? And that's represented in the torso. But as for the hands and the way of looking at halacha, and the way of looking at the Torah, they were adversaries halachically, but they were friends personally. And the house of Hillel, and the fact that we go by the house of Hillel, and we go with the right side, with chesed, and only in a few specific cases do we go by Beit Shammai. I think that they had a lot of great things to say. It was a controversy for the sake of the heavens, as they say, machloket l'shem shamayim. And it is a sustained controversy because it's not that one of them is right and one of them is wrong. That's why the conversation is still going. That's why Beit Hillel and Beit Shammai and Hillel, the sages themselves, that's why they had a good relationship. Or so or if I recall correctly, that was the case, right? They were Chachmei HaZugot, Hillel and Shammai, Shma'ya and Avtalion, the Zugot. The people that were adversaries halachically, but were good friends. Hey mate, says Dylan, what's the story with the dreadlocks? Live in a Jewish area in England, but not all too common over here. Cheers. Nazarites. I'm a Nazarite. I've taken a Samson Nazarite vow. I took it 16 years ago. The Nazarite chip of Samson says you need to grow your hair wild and free and never cut it, hence the dreadlocks. They are natural, free-form, organic dreadlocks. I keep them as clean as I can. The scalp and the locks, and I shampoo, I condition, I put a hair mask occasionally, and they just grow wild and free. That's what these are. Dead keratin with a living root. That's what it is. Okay. Matthew says, I once in the 80s split a gram of mushrooms with someone special. We laughed and laughed. Really, a half a gram? And that was enough for you to get all giggly? Good for you. That usually would have no effect other than turn your stomach. So how did you do it? Did you eat the mushrooms? Were they wet? Were they dry? Were they the mycelia? Was it a lemon tech? How did you do it, if you recall? I don't know. Love, says Angelo Baraza. All you need is love, love. Love is all you need. Love and a bit of wisdom can go a long way. May we achieve it. May I achieve it. Khazaria, yes, the Khuzarim were a kingdom. They supposedly all converted to Judaism and are all de facto 100% Jews. You're highly intelligent. What is your inner turmoil, says JW. I'm not highly intelligent. I have my moments, but I'm mostly standing on the very broad and intelligent shoulders of giants of the past. So the things that I'm saying here, while I do give my own spin on them sometimes, are basically just straight up Hebrew lore from days of yore, you know. Okay. My inner turmoil. My inner turmoil has to do with the fact that I still need to be less. I need to succumb less to my emotions and keep them in check. That is the basis of my inner turmoil. To keep my emotions more in check. It's difficult to do with those who are closest to you. That means yourself. That means your family, extended family sometimes. What's the difference, says AW, between a true Jew and a European Jew? That the word true Jew starts with, it's a two-word term, it starts with the word true. And the word European Jew starts with the word European. Both of them are Jewish, ergo of the kingdom of Judah, but one of them you consider to be true. Meaning that it might be that the other one you consider to be fake, where all Europe is a location. They never took on the ways of Europe, Christianity, or any other faith. They remained Jews of the kingdom of Judah in exile. So, I must ask you, I gotta ask you, why could a Euro, are these mutually exclusive terms to you, AWK? Let's continue. Why don't you actually follow the real Torah and instead follow whatever Netanyahu says? I think I'm trying to follow the real Torah as I perceive it and as it's been handed down to me through the ages. I'm not interested in following whatever Netanyahu says, but I am a lowly civilian and he is the prime minister of Israel. Some would say that our sphere of authority and influence differs a little bit. He's in politics. I'm a dumbass on camera. You can see the difference. Really, what have I done that Netanyahu has said? I'd love to know. 3 grams in a controlled environment, nothing changed. Weeds seem to make it worse, no matter the strain. Exercise and meditation seem to help the most. Hey, right on. Exercise and meditation, right on, right on. Controlled environment. Nothing changed. I'm really sorry to hear that. I think, don't take my word for it, do your research. If you're done with mushrooms, it doesn't work, and the mushrooms are not calling out to you, don't do it. Do it whenever it feels right. If you do want to give mushrooms a shot, 5 grams, alone in silent darkness, the hero dose, the hero path, and maybe that's not for you. I don't know if you have mental illness, history of mental illness in your family. I don't know your situation. I don't know anything. But just as regarding shrooms, if the most you did is 3 grams and nothing changed, 5 dried grams in silent darkness, recommended if that is something that you would want to do. Explain the spirit. I don't know what that means, but the spirit, as I see it, is one of the it's one of the 4 elements corresponding with air. B, there is that breath of life. The breath of life is something that it says in Genesis was breathed into humanity. Or, this brand of humanity after evolution and so on. Spirit is something that is akin to a life force, but in the Hebrew faith, we have 5 different names corresponding to 5 different levels. And there's 5 within those 5 corresponding to the original 5, right? Nefesh, ruach, neshama, chaya, yechida. The latter 2, the last 2, you can forget about those for now, the 3, because they correspond to the human body. Nefesh, ruach, neshama. Nefesh is like an animal life force that animates us, other mammals, other earthlings, other beings. A minimal thing called nefesh, and it resides, they say, in the blood. I mean, figuratively speaking, in the blood. Ruach, spirit, next, which is something that corresponds to the heart and to something that is of 2 ways, let's say. It's like the heart is divided, right? The third is called neshama, which is soul, and that corresponds to the brain or the mind and the space between them, if you will. So the spirit, if I were to explain it, It is the life force. It is the life force that animates you physically. It is the heart that gives you the push and pull of life, and it is the mind above all, right, that has that place where it connects to the spiritual in earnest. The Kabbalists say that the soul's place of dwelling, as it were, figuratively speaking, is in the space between the filters of the brain, right? The arachnia, pia, and dura, right? The three covers of the brain, and in between those covers, in an infinitesimal place, they say, so something along those lines, is that place where it's in the bloodstream, it's in the heart, and it's in that place in the mind. That would be the spirit. Now, if you're talking about the spirit of humanity, if you're talking about the spirit in the sense of Holy Spirit or spirit of sacredness, what's called Ruach HaKodesh, that's a lower form of prophecy, the spirit of sacredness, Ruach HaKodesh, and that's right when the spirit is laid upon you, so to speak. The spirit of prophecy was taken away at the time of the beginning of the Second Temple, but the spirit of sacredness remained. The lower form of prophecy that we can all tap into, all of us, humanity, can tap into Ruach HaKodesh, the spirit of sacredness. So that's my little rant on spirit, but if you want to get more specific, we could do that too. Let's continue. Black Star are still going, correct, as right side lane choice. Black Star. Blame it on the Black Star. It's a Radiohead song. Okay, Divine Star. What are the LGBT rights in Judaism and in Israel? And do you support LGBT? And can anyone from other religions convert to Judaism? And what is their status once they convert to Judaism? Okay, first things last. Yes, anybody can convert to Judaism. The only ones who cannot are male Moabites and Ammonites. We do not know who those nations are these days. So yes, anybody can convert. As for LGBT rights, first of all, I don't like lumping those together because some are about sexual expression and some are about sexual attraction. And to lump them all together in this long acronym, I do not abide by that. So I won't go into each individual acronym. I get what you mean. People who are not, wouldn't be considered normative sexually, whether it's expression or attraction. So let's do that because I don't do the acronym thing. The rights are, first of all, in halacha, no go. No same-sex relations. In the Torah, the only act that is prohibited explicitly is male Jews engaging in full penetrative anal sex. That is what is prohibited in the Torah. The Torah doesn't say who you can be attracted to. The Torah does not tell you who you can fancy. The Torah doesn't tell you other things. The Torah, just the written Torah, tells you no male on male anal penetrative intercourse. That's that. That's an abomination and they can be put to death. Okay. Now that that's out of the way, our sages, the oral traditions, and other teachings that were thrown in already said, yes, no full penetrative anal sex and nothing to lead up to it. Nothing that has the potential of being there, meaning oral, meaning, guys living together. That's also debated in the halacha. So, rights, you could figure that out, I think, from what I just said. And in Israel is a Jewish democratic state. Sometimes it's more democratic, sometimes it's more Jewish. And in this, it is more democratic in some ways. And, hang on a second. And I think, unfortunately, I'm going to have to go soon. We have a delivery coming. I think what I'll do is, if the delivery shows up, I think what I'm going to do is I'll say goodbye, but then I'll want to hop on after the delivery arrives. So, just pay attention, that may happen. Okay. Let's continue. Do Jews actually follow Talmud? No, Talmud is the place where halacha is derived from. Jews, many Orthodox Jews, follow strict halacha, yes, rabbinic law. It's not just a book, not at all. There's some weird stuff in it, that's all. There's many weird stuff in it. Not all of the weird stuff was made into actual rabbinic law. Also, not some of the weird stuff that's written there has a weird physical presence, but in a very clear esoteric and spiritual root. And by the time it comes down here into the physical garments of a book written down by people, words, then it already takes on something that seems completely asinine, crazy, backwards if you just read the physical. But if you can understand that there are levels and nuances to these teachings, and that the spiritual root does not have that contention, it also means that things that appear in the spirit should not necessarily be made into halachic law in reality, in physical reality. You need to differentiate in the very same way that there are different ways in which the divine revelation comes into the world. A couple of them are mother and father, son and daughter. These are divine attributes. And there is talk of the divine attributes coming together, forming a unity, bringing new light into the world. And that means that mother with son and father with daughter and different things. But this should not be translated into actual incestuous relationships in the physical here on earth. Some people did say that that's the case. Didn't last. Okay. Palestine or Israel, says Sky. I choose peace. Peace and love, justice and prosperity for all. He is gay, says Kaka. Yes, I am straight, gay, bisexual. I'm a non-binary. I'm also a two-spirit microphone and a cup of coffee. Let's continue. Okay. One bang Nabs. Hey Nabs, how you doing there? Are you nabbing? What can you teach us about the Messiah and his second coming? Well, Messiah means anointed one. He's a messenger. He will live and die like any other king before him. Messiah means anointed one. Cyrus the Great was called anointed. Priests were anointed, and kings were anointed, and prophets were anointed. The Messiah is King of Israel. No more, no less, a messenger. There is the idea of intermediate messiahs from other tribes. There is the idea of a final Messiah who will come from the house of David and the line of Yishai, the tribe of Judah. Will bring about a great paradigm shift in all creation, elevate us all. And I think I do need to go now. I will see you soon. But okay, we can do this. I want to get back to the stream. Back to the stream, back to you good people. So let's see, am I on, am I not? The phone says I'm live, still. Ah, here I am. Good. Let's just see that I have audio. Yes, I am live. It's the Nazarite, bringing you once again the Nazaritemaxxing experience with me. Not that I've maxed anything. As I said in the beginning of this stream, all Nazarite vows are de facto Nazaritemaxxing in these days without a temple and an altar. You're back. Yes, I am. Whew. Okay. Toda Salam is here, Luke Miller is here, Tenebris is here, the regulars, the wonders of this chat. Justin is here, Fabio is here, Kaka is still here. How you doing? Person FU says, good morning, what are you up? What are you up? That's a good question. What am I up? I'm uptight, I'm obnoxious.
What are you up
to? Okay. Morning, says Stone Smurf. Hello, hello. Joined a few minutes ago, was wondering what was happening. Yes, I received a delivery for... Those are glasses. You use them to drink liquids and beverages. Look at the label. There you go. Upside down. That's a good one. Exactly. That didn't come now. It showed up. It showed up a few days. No, dude. No. Ima and Tata bought it. Hey, Lola1003. Where are you at? What are you doing? How are you doing? Ay. So much fun to be here. Deacon Blues is here. Baruch Hashem. Blessed be the name. Indeed. I don't go for the Hashem stuff, usually, unless I'm like in an unclean place or an unclean mindset, or I don't know, they don't use Hashem, but I love using the word Adonai. That's the name that I connect with. The name Yah is also one I very much connect with. Kaka with the lightning. Do you mean lightning as in ride the lightning? Do you mean lightning as in SS Nazi groups? What is it that you mean? He wife is 10 years, says Kaka. Whose wife is 10 years? My woman is certainly not 10 years old. I may have met her at 16, and I did. Maybe I bumped into her on the streets of Zion at some point when I was a boy. It stands to reason, but no. Well, Deacon, you do what you feel is best. I use Adonai. Some people see that as blasphemous, me taking the Lord's name in vain and all kinds of stuff, but I do have meaning and intent behind saying the name of the Most High God, any name which I do say that I can say. Whose wife was 10 years? Your murder. I am murder? That's not even your, that's yours. My murder? What about my murder? What do you know? Do you know something I don't? Don't tell the cops. How do you wake up with this energy, bro? Says person FU. I mean, let's put it this way. I love Yaman. Yeah, kapal.
And by the way, you didn't wake up now.
No, I don't think so. He said, how do you wake up with this energy, bro? Well, it's 12:42 p.m. here in Israel, and I mean, I have a good morning routine. I do. Are you a Rasta Jew? No, Rastas take the Nazarite vow. I'm a Hebrew man who took the Nazarite vow. You can call me a Jewish Nazarite if you want, or just dumbass. But whatever way you call me, yes, the religious Nazarites of the Rastas, right, who take a Nazarite vow, and the Jews who take a Nazarite vow, they have that kinship. Wash your hair. I do, kaka. I wash my hair regularly. How old are you? I'm 43, Uday. Good to see you again. Is it Uday or Uday? Very good to see you again. Are you knowledgeable with the works of Shalom Shabazi? No, I'm not, because it's Shalom Shabazi, a Kabbalist or halachic ruler? I'm blanking on the name. It sounds familiar, but I'm blanking on the actual. So you tell me about the works of Shalom Shabazi. Either way, definitely not intimately enough knowledgeable to know his deal. So no. If he is a Kabbalist, presumably he is a Lurianic Kabbalist, and I am not that type. I don't study that type of Kabbalah. I'm more of the Kabbalah of the Ramak, Rabbi Moshe Cordovero. He's a Yemenite poet. Oh, that's right. Shalom Shabazi was a Paitan. Yes, right. Nachon. Well, give me some of his more famous ones, and I'll be able to tell you, But I don't usually sing Yemenite hymns or songs or zmirot. I usually stick to the Edot HaMizrach or Ashkenaz zmirot. I don't know enough Yemeni ones. Will you apologize for gefilte fish? You know what? Even when I did eat fish, gefilte was never my deal. Now, some people say that's only because you never tasted really good gefilte fish, and that might be the case, but it was never my deal. Will I apologize? I will not. But I no longer partake. Do you know your parents? Tell us about your father's father, says person FU. My father's father was named Dov Halevi, Dov the Levite, Dov Ber. Well, same deal. I think their family was from, Lithuania, White Russia, that area, if I'm not mistaken. And they made the move to the States, right? My father's father was born in the U.S. His father, I think, was not. So that's my father's father. And, right, wait, is it Dov Bell? Is it, I think it's Dov. I'm not. And my mother's father was, my grandmother's father was Aryeh Leib, if I'm not mistaken. So, tell us about my parents. They are a Zionist, king and queen. They left everything in America in their 20s, and they came here, and they've been here for a lot of time, 50 years or more. And, live in the American Zionist dream. They are. You seem cool, but do you support Palestine or Israel? I support peace and prosperity, Mr. Peylamed. I think that we need to de-radicalize both sides and have real justice and real peace and real love and embrace each other with our shared humanity, very simply, very purely. Get over the things that differentiate between us and find the root. Now, the way to that is full of horrors and atrocities, unfortunately. So I don't support war. I support Israel's right to defend itself against Palestinian terrorist organizations that want to annihilate it. And I support the idea of people having a land, a state. Palestinian leadership keeps on rejecting that. So I guess they don't want it, do they? So that's what I support. Okay. Do you listen to hectic psytrance? No, I don't listen to any psytrance. I like a little bit of Spongol every now and then, but I'm really not versed or knowledgeable in the psytrance at all. I'm not a trance person. I'm more of a classic rock, psychedelic rock, alternative rock person. One Texas is here. Israel are the chosen of God. That's good enough for me. Well, look, again, you say that. That's cool. I don't go for the chosen one business. I think it might lead some people down a dark path of vanity, pride, and arrogance, and all of those. Blech. So if you're going to say Israel are chosen, may we act, all of us, like the chosen. I don't think Israel was chosen as, you can think of it as an elder brother among siblings, not somebody who's better, more, greater. Firstborn, It's almost a technicality. We have our job of keeping the Torah and the commandments. Other nations have their jobs, and no one is better than the other. That's what I say. And if you can, and people, Jewish people who say that they're the chosen ones, they better damn well have the receipts to back that up. Oh man. Sorry. How many sects are there? No, it's still there. Hang on. Still a little bit there. I might need to go again. You will forgive me. So, how many sects? Hang on. Come on already. There you go. So, I mean, the classic ones are rabbinic, right? Orthodox. There are the Hasidic sects. There's the Reform, Reconstructionist, conservative sects. There are cults as well that are not really sects, but cults. Let's continue. Oh, come on. What is it that's stuck in my throat? I barely ate. Oh, you know what? I had some raw tchina before. That might be contributing to that. All right. Do you know YouTube Olive Oil Run? Olive Oil Run. I don't know. It rings kind of a bell. Maybe I've seen them while scrolling live occasionally, but I might be wrong. Do you support monitoring of citizens and invasion of privacy for the greater good? The greater good is a huge problem. Because for you to say that you do something for the greater good, that would mean that you know better than the greater good. And while that might be the case because people are intelligent and groups are stupid, monitoring of citizens and invasion of privacy, to what end? First of all, is it just control? Is it oppression under the guise of control and a comfortable life and fighting crime? And where is, it's a very gray area depending on depending on the jurisdiction and depending on the nation, the state. Do I support it? No. But I think that in some cases, I don't know what cases those are, in some cases that might be necessary. But I wouldn't know. I wouldn't know. I certainly don't support it just, carte blanche, yeah, sure, do whatever. Islam worships a warlord, a fake prophet. I don't think they worship Muhammad. That would be idolatry. I think they worship Allah and they say that Muhammad is his prophet, right? His messenger. So he was, according to Quran, I think, and history, a warlord and a fake prophet, right? Much like a lot of other prophets were for the nations, but not for us. This prophet may have been for Muslims, but not for other nations, in the very same way. So maybe a fake prophet to you, Texas, presumably you're a Christian, but I might be mistaken, then a fake prophet to you, but very real to those who follow his teachings. You see what I'm saying? Please spam 88. All right, chat, you ready? You want to do this? Everybody together, 168 people. You want to all tap 88 and press enter or tap, send? Let's make this happen for Kaka. Because I love a good Kaka. Kaka! Kaka!
There's a soccer player, Kaka.
That's right, I thought of that too. Is he French? No, Brazil. Okay. Strep throat. No, it's not strep throat. It was just something stuck in my throat. That is the actual technical term. Prove God using scientific principles. I'm not here to prove or disprove God. If I were to prove God, it would also mean he can be disproven, and that is a duality, and God is not a duality. So I don't mean to prove anything. I don't think that I'm right and other people are wrong. People can do whatever the heck they want. As for scientific principles, that would be the current scientific principles, which are always advancing, always evolving, always innovating. And so it would be wrong of me to subject that idea of the divine to things that are so temporary. It wouldn't be without merit, but it would be eventually futile. It would be futile. That's what I think. Okay. Why are you advocating Nazi dog whistles? Well, I'll tell you, Jacob. Nazi dog whistles, I mean, they're not sponsoring me, okay? But, it's like, do you have a dog? Say, friend, does your dog listen to you? Well, get that Nazi not wolf whistle, dog whistle, and watch how he snaps into that salute like it ain't no thing. Ding. I like the way you think, says CR. I have my moments. Sometimes I think in ways that are stupid. And sometimes I have my moments. Why are you bald? I'm bald because I have genes that control hair and stuff. So the bald gene is part of my family. I might go bald tomorrow. I have no idea. This has always been a very high forehead for me. And, these going right in there. The straits of Jonathan, if you will. And Oh, not the Straits. What are they? They are, what are they called? Never mind. Let's continue. Scrolling down. How long does it take to wash that beard? I shampoo it and I moisturize it. I shampoo it in the shower, moisturize it after the shower. That's it. I wash it, just with a shower. I agree with you with a lot of stuff except Israel. Palestine's land was stolen. That's false. You don't steal your own ancestral home. Insofar as things were stolen, I'm against that. And Jews and Arabs should share the land. Agreed, we should. Not Zionists take the whole thing. If Zionists wanted to take the whole thing, they would not have accepted the 1947 partition plan. They would not have given back Sinai. They would not have exited Lebanon. They would not have receded from Gaza. They would not tell the Palestinian leadership that they can have the West Bank and Gaza and East Jerusalem. Take the whole thing? Never. That's never been the case for modern day Zionism en masse. Were there modern day Zionists who may have thought that? Sure. Maybe they even tried to implement some sort of a plan to get that. It hasn't happened. And I say that, people talk about greater Israel, and I always say the greater Israel is being good people in the Israel that we have. That is greatness. Not territory, not land, not expansion. Do good things with where you are right now. Use the tools that are available at your disposal. Okay. Wow, this is a lot of anti-Semitism. Welcome to the internet. Have a look around. Yes, Tim, there's a lot of anti-Semitism.
What's that?
That was Bo Burnham.
No, what's anti-Semitism?
Anti-Semitism is people who are against the people of Shem, which usually translates into Jew hatred.
Anti-Jewish.
Right. Was it wrong, says Jacob, for black South Africans to rise up against the two-tiered justice system enforced upon them under apartheid? First of all, no, that wasn't wrong. Second of all, there is no such apartheid going on in the state of Israel. Never was. And I don't know enough about South Africa's geopolitical story way back when, not even now. So I won't be able to fully address it and say wrong, right, yes, no. It's too dichotomous. But I think that apartheid, which was an actual apartheid, was oppressing people based on race, skin color, and that is wrong, and that is not what we are doing here in the state of Israel. There are 2 million Arab and Christians and Arab Muslims living here, Arab Israelis with full equal rights, just like I have. This dumbass schnoizel who's sitting in front of you has the same equal rights as the dudes who just helped me with the IKEA stuff that showed up, and they were both Arab. We have the same rights. We're both trying to work. We're both just trying to live our lives, hopefully with some dignity and leave some sort of a legacy and peace. Peace. We need peace. Do you live in Israel? Yes, I do. Coming at you live from Zion, where the wonders never cease. Your poor mom trying to watch TV in the next room. No, my mom is on the other side of Jerusalem. And is she trying to watch TV? Should we find out? I'll text her. Yeah, I got it here. Hang on a second. We'll do this right now. And if you were right, well, I'll tell you. Okay? Texting her from the WhatsApp on the laptop. Are you watching TV? Some dude in the chat said you were. Send. And now we shall see. Okay. Brother has a New Jersey accent and says he's not stealing Palestinian land. Really, New Jersey? No, I mean, I have close. I have family in New York, not New Jersey. Isn't New Jersey more with the, right? More loose, I think. And no, not stealing Palestinian land because there was never such a nation as Palestine. There was never such a state as Palestine, a country, a kingdom, ever. Ever. The Palestinian identity was only adopted in the 1960s by PLO and Arafat, right? Now, Palestinian was what Rome, right? Rome called this place the Roman province of Syria, Palestina. That's what that is. So Palestinians were Jews. Rome called this place Judea, Palestine. The Jews were here. They were the original Palestinians. So if you're going to talk about indigenous, read a history book or, Wikipedia this crap. Wrong! Really? It wasn't Rome who called this place Syria, Palestina, fighting the Jews at the time of the Second Temple before it was destroyed? I'm not saying these people have no right to live here. Let's make that very clear. There were people here who were not Jews. This doesn't need to be Goyim Rhine, free of nations, right? It doesn't need to be without other people. Obviously, yes, there should be people here. Other people do have a claim to this land by historical merit, just like we do. Forget the covenant, forget the Torah, Forget all of that. There's been an unbroken presence of Jews here for over 3,000 years. And there's been an unbroken presence of significant merit to other people who were here, and they should stay here, live side by side with us in peace and prosperity. So I'm not wrong, and you can look that up. Okay. You look like a sloppy Ari Schaefer, not necessarily a bad thing, just since you brought up BB, says Tim. Should I take Prussia back to Germany? There always lived Germans 99% M4. If Prussia was the German ancestral home, yeah, maybe. But in the very same way that you're not asking Australia to give it back to the indigenous population, right, the Aboriginals, you're not asking the US to give Texas back to Mexico. You're not asking the Canadian First Nations, right? You're not asking Canada to give the land. No, you're doing that with Israel, even though there's been an unbroken presence of Jews here for over 3,000 years. It's always been our ancestral home ever since way back when. We never stopped hoping for it, looking for it, showing up and being exiled from it. We always make a comeback. But now the world decides that we're pissed off at the Jews because reasons. And I say reasons, I don't mean to be flippant, but there are so many people who are anti-Jew just for the sake of being anti-Jew. They have their reasons, sure. I'm not here to persuade them otherwise or change opinions, right? Let us continue. Complete the following phrase: British mandate for Palestine and Transjordan. After World War I, when the Ottoman Empire fell, the Britons, right, the British Empire, they did not annex the land. They were in charge of Transjordan and Palestine. It was called Transjordan because of the Jordan River, and it was called Palestine because of the Romans. And they gave Jordan to the Hashemites of Saudi Arabia, the Hashemite kingdom, the rulers, as a, well, they had their reasons. My mother says, no, we just got back from the bakery, haven't had the TV on for a while. Boom! You were wrong! Okay. So, the British mandate for Palestine was exactly that. We were never made part of the British Empire. We were never made British citizens. Nay, it's not part of the Commonwealth. They were there as keepers of the peace, overseers of some kind, while things work themselves out. And then, much like Pakistan gained independence, and India and Pakistan became a thing, on the border, and many were displaced there as well. And like many other things after Nazi Germany lost, and Germans everywhere had to be displaced and brought back to Germany, these things happen. It is the nature of war, it's the nature of conquest, it's the nature of... So, the British mandate ended, and when it ended, Israel declared independence. And in the Scroll of Independence it says, we invite the neighbors around us and we extend the hand of peace. Now this is not wolves in sheep clothing kind of thing, even though many people will say it is. Why won't my parakeet eat its diarrhea, says Curtis. It might not have enough nutrients. You need to feed your parrot better nutrients. Get the expensive stuff. I'm not sure what your financial situation is. But if you've got a parakeet, and you care for that parakeet, and you call it paracute when nobody's around, if you want to get it to eat its diarrhea, you need to make it appetizing, okay? Diarrhea is something which is problematic because it's excrement. It's liquid excrement, good for juicing, high protein, but you need to have more nutrients in there. The parakeet needs to remain paracute. I hope that answers, or at least addresses, your question. What the fuck, says Micha Brooks. Hey, Brooks, are you related to Mel Brooks? Oh, that dear old Yid. Okay. Arabs are 20% of the population, but only have 10 Knesset members. Curious? Yeah. People don't vote for them. Or more people vote for other parties and they get more seats in the parliament. 8 billion of us are against genocide and toddler eating. Well, 8 billion and 1, my dude. Right here. Free Palestine from the face of the map, says Stephen. No, that's not good either, because these people are here, and many of them are innocent people trying to just live their lives, stuck between a rock and a hard place, right? Between the IDF and between their bloodthirsty death cult of a regime. And it's horrible for the actual innocent men, women, and children who are casualties, whose lives have been changed irrevocably. This is awful. It's terrible. It's a tragedy that this is ongoing. The conflict is terrible on all sides, right? Okay. We got aura, says Toda Salam. Aura? What kind of aura? Do you mean like I was speaking of earlier with the Chaya Yechida, or a different type of aura?
Don't you know what aura means now?
Aura is a hila, but it can mean a couple of different things.
It means aura too.
Stoned smoke. What? What does aura mean?
Feminine aura is like
Oh, it's
cool.
Oh, it's a slang? It's slang, my bad. Sorry.
There's so much aura, like for girls.
Oh, I see. I have so much aura. See, it's a good thing to have kids. They explain some
That's
Gen
from
Alpha
Roblox,
terms
from
to you.
Roblox, I know.
From Oh, Gen Alpha business. I don't know anything about it. In your household, says Stone Smurf. Hi, Stone. Hi, Smurf. Hey, Stone Smurf. Do you predominantly speak Hebrew or English? English. Because I want my kids to have good English. Hebrew they get everywhere else. Just like my parents did. They spoke English to us, and me and my brothers are bilingual. And it has opened many, many doors. Case in point. When we see you speak with your family, you flip between the two, and which would you curse in if you stub your toe? English. English. Definitely. Jacob says, what about the Nakba? The Nakba is the failure of the Arab states to wipe out the state of Israel. The Arab armies failed. That's what Nakba is. It wasn't done at the time. It means catastrophe, and it was coined by a Syrian researcher or academic trying to coin the term for the, if you will, the word existed, but he coined the term for the failure of the Arab states. That's the Nakba. The catastrophe is not the whatever they say it was. The catastrophe is that they were not able to wipe out the Jewish state. That is the catastrophe. Hello from England. Hey, Adam, you. Please, can you remind us of the number of people within groups start to become disorganized? You had mentioned this in the past, so one hopes you recall. Peace and love. The number of people within groups. No, people were talking about communism, socialism, and capitalism, and I've heard that you are a communist at home, a socialist somewhere else, and a capitalist in like the general economy. It's like as your sphere of concern or influence or environment, whatever, grows, things need to be taken into account. So I think that people said that communism works up to about 200, 250 people, if that's what you mean. I've heard this hypothesis, theory, contention, assertion, contention, whatever it is. That above 200, 250 people in a commune, things start to break down, and the communism thing breaks down, and hierarchies are formed in a way that it sort of evolves of its own accord. Or at least hierarchies that wouldn't align with the idea of a commune. Something like that, but I don't know if that's what you mean. Where's your yarmulke? It's right here, the hair of the Nazarite, the crown of separation of a Nazarite man or woman. That is my yarmulke. Yarmulke means yare mulka, which is yare mulya, or in fear before God. So the hair of the Nazarite, which is deoraita from the Torah, takes precedence over the yarmulke, which is a piece of cloth that is the rabbanan of the scribes and sages and halachic rulers, not from the Torah. That's why I do not wear a yarmulke. Also, the yarmulke has become such a divisive tool. Oh, what color is it? Oh, what size is it? Oh, what does it say on it? What is depicted on it? Do you wear it here? 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 Do you wear it there? Does it have a fringe? A fringe on top? It's really, really, really divisive. Do you believe in God or something? Something, because God is just a name we give it. Something is also a name we give it. Oh, bother. Yes, I do believe in a creator, but I believe the creator is not something I can actually acknowledge, grasp, know, contend with, relate to. I can relate to the divine attributes. I can relate to the divine revelation, the divine emanation, the ways in which God is revealed in the world, right? The clothing, the garments, much like I'm being projected to you through a digital network with zeros and ones, a pixelated human on a screen, but you still get to see kind of what I'm saying, what I'm talking about. You can discern things from my appearance or from my body language. They can be right or wrong, but you do actually receive some things about who I am and what I'm doing in some way. In the very same way, we can relate to God through the projections, through the zeros and ones of revelation in creation. Okay. I know you're not Google, but I'm in Chicago and very tired. What time is it there? Your energy is crazy to me. It's 1:06 p.m., 1 in the afternoon. Pope wears a yarmulke. Okay, Vigil? I'm not Catholic. It's my woman. Hang on a second. I'll text her. Ish. Hold on. Texting her. Hello. Streaming.
Live.
Okay. Let's continue. Incidentally, as long as I took a break here, a quick aside to say thank you, those watching now, those watching later. Shout out to the replay crew, the lovers, the haters, the likes, the subs, the views, the shares, the vitriol, the insults, the Nazis, the spammers, it's all so nice. And I deeply appreciate your time and your kind attention. I hope it is of some value, something. And This is so much fun. I love the energy. I love the positive vibration and the negative vibration because YouTube picks up on that, and it's a win-win for everybody. You get to bellyache and call me a kike, and I get to say, oh, good, more viewers. Not that I'm asking for viewers. It happens of its own accord. The YouTube algorithm is exceedingly gracious to me and my small channel. Yes, yes, indeed. What does your sect worship? The Nazariteship is not really a sect. It's a vow of a personal nature that a man or woman of the Hebrew tribe take on themselves. So, we do what all other Hebrew men and women do. We worship the one Hebrew God in a Hebrew way. Sly Fox says, like, responded to a comment just now. Huh? Say what now? Batter says, guys, please D. All right? Please D. Thumbs up for the crown. He just did it again. It's not pre-recorded. No, Sly Fox, it's not pre-recorded. Here I am, live, unscripted, unfiltered, raw, from Jerusalem, coming at you on this lovely Thursday afternoon. Are you still eating your own shit? Only once a month during Shittivus. And tchina, hummus, olives, the whole thing. Do you consider yourself to be a mashpia? I don't know what mashpia means in the sense of, do you mean a mashpian, an influencer? Do you mean mashpia as in Kabbalistically like Bnei Baruch Kabbalah of lekabel al menat lehashpia? Do you mean somebody who influences others in the sense of how to win friends and influence people? So you gotta bring it down, dumb it down for me a little bit. To dumb it down for me, to be more specific. Shit grows the best flowers. Yes, that is correct. Yeah, so they say. You sound like you have an American accent. Well, I'll tell you, partner. Yes, I do. My parents are from America. They raised us kids here in Zion, but they taught us English. The fuck, says North Stacks. Hey, what do you stack to the north? I'll bet you're pretty stacked. Dirty. Yes, indeed, I am dirty. Hua, 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 hua. And it's that time. It's the time for a sweaty underarm fart. Okay, or a succession of them. See? It's nice to laugh. Okay, let's continue. Forever roaming. Forever roaming. Not all those who wander are lost, said Lord of the Rings. Why do people hate Jews so much? Hike-a-maniacs? Nice name. Well, I'll tell you. It's because of our schnoz. That's it. It comes down to the schnoz. The Hebrew schnoz gives people pause. Okay, let's continue. Hola from the other side of Cyprus. So which side are you on? I know that there's a Turkish side and a Greek side, if I'm not mistaken. Is Islam the Antichrist in your opinion? I don't know much about Islam, but I would say no, because there is no Christ. Christ means anointed one. There currently isn't an anointed one. And I think that traditionally, Armilus, who is said to maybe, possibly, potentially kill the Messiah, son of Joseph, is not a Muslim, but I do not know. Is showering allowed? Yes, Mr. Rackety Meteor. Nice. Your meteor is pretty rackety, I'll give you that. Yes, showering is allowed and encouraged. Health and wellness and hygiene is encouraged. Yes. Guys, leave a like, says Vigil. Thanks, I appreciate it. What do you say about Germany? I say that they made a whole 180 and that de-radicalizing Germany and Japan after World War II has bared unbelievable fruit, and that they are friends of the state of Israel to the degree that that European nation can be friends. So it's amazing that within a couple of generations, the transformation that can occur in human minds if they are deconditioned and deprogrammed and de-radicalized. And I mean that in the best possible way. B8 says, BDH, Milwaukee Goy here, LOL, no clue why this was suggested, but I hope you have a great rest of your day. Thanks, man, I appreciate it. And this is the time to remind you that all contributions after YouTube takes its cut go to charities here in Jerusalem that serves Arabs and Muslims and Christians and Baha'is and Druze and Gentiles and Jews. So yes. Will you trim your mustache as a Nazarite? Yes, I do. The Nazarite hair is only this on the head. The beard is not necessary. The mustache is not necessary. I trim the top of my mustache in order to eat better and kiss better. So, yes. And as for no clue why this was suggested, because YouTube is very gracious to me and my small channel, and it has showered me with many viewers, most of which stay for a few seconds and scroll away in horror. Ah! And some people stick around and we have a conversation, and ding.
Have a laugh.
What is a Gentile? Allison asks. A Gentile is a person of the nations, somebody who is not of the Hebrew tribes. That's it. That's all that a Gentile is. People use it pejoratively, right? It means goyim, that means nations. Goy means nation, singular and plural, right, respectively. And Israel is also a goy. It's just that other nations who are not Jewish are generally called goyim in a general way. So I do not use it pejoratively ever. Do you speak Hebrew? כן, אני מדבר עברית. העברית צחה ושוטפת. Yes, I do speak Hebrew, JPG, aka Machead816. That is how I know you, more as Machead. Do Gentiles go to the same heaven as Jews? So we don't have a everlasting concept of heaven. Eden and Gehinnom, right, are waiting rooms on the way to creation phase 2, after we partake of the fruit of the tree of life. Gentiles and Jews, if they are good people, yes, that's what matters. Be a good person. Be a better influence in the world. Making me hungry, says Skippy. Okay, so now, do you want me to make you hungrier? Do you want me to make you vomit? I can pretty much induce you to do both of those things. What is
Who
it?
said that? Skippy?
Skippy said making me hungry. Have some Skippy.
Yeah.
Right, with a spoon, with your fingers like Joey and Friends. What are peanut butter fingers?
Or just Skippy.
Bro, are you a crackhead? You look like one. Well, I've never cracked my head open, and I have a crack, and I have a head, so I have a crackhead. I have different cracks in my head, right? The ears, the nose, the eyes, the mouth, the 7 openings, the 7 cracks, if you will, that represent the 7 lights of the menorah, of the candelabra. And you know, there is a lot. There is what did Leonard Cohen say? There is a crack in everything. That's how the light gets in. Okay. Schmike says, I took a Nazarite vow 2 months ago. Ooh, are you a Christian? Are you a Hebrew? No shaving of any hair on the head, no alcohol, no grapes, no vinegar, no killing or touching dead bodies. So, you're allowed to have vinegar. First of all, if you're not a Hebrew man, all those laws do not apply to you. You can still follow them, but they don't apply to you. And you don't transgress against the Nazariteship. The Nazariteship in Numbers 6 was given to the children of Israel. It says, speak to the sons of Israel, Daber el bnei Israel. So, the Nazarite vow you took is still your own solemn vow between your Creator and yourself. I'm not poo-pooing that or gatekeeping, but I'm saying, first of all, you're allowed to shave, just not the hair on your head. This is halacha. It may not apply to you. Second, you can drink alcohol that is not grape-derived. Okay. Third, you can have vinegar that is not wine vinegar, meaning you can't have balsamic vinegar, you can't have white wine or red wine vinegar. You can have grain vinegar, which is usually what industrially is used. Vinegar from grains, not from grapes. So, insofar as the vow is concerned, that's between you and God, if you will. If the rules and the rabbinic principles and law is what you want to follow, then it matters if you're a Gentile or if you're a Hebrew. Okay, let's continue. How was your time in the army? Challenging, difficult sometimes, but very rewarding. I was in mandatory service and reserve duty, and I was discharged about 5 years ago. Dude looks like he was pulled out of a trash can. Yes, I am Oscar II. I live in a trash can. Yeah, I smell like dung and sardines, or sardine dung. Let's continue. If there is a God, a creator who is all-powerful, why is he letting all the suffering happen? So first of all powerful is an attribute. That's not the divine. It's one attribute of the divine. Second of all, the allegory or the parable that's put forth by Rabbi Moshe Cordovero in Pardes Limonim is the one of digestion, right? I have, let's say, something to eat, an apple, okay? Or no, not even that. Something I can eat the entirety of, right? Because that has a core and pits and whatever. You can technically eat the entire apple. Let's go with an apple. I have an apple that's 100% nourishment. It's 100% food. I can ingest it and it can give me sustenance and energy and help me live. 100%. By the time it comes down over here, digestion beginning with the teeth and the saliva and the enzymes, by the time it ends down here in a lower place, it's pulled apart to its constituents. Meaning there are certain things that will go to nourish and sustain the body and give it health and wellness. Other parts of it will be excreted through urine and through feces. So, you may ask the question, how can something that is 100% good become something that is good and bad? It's because something about it shifted position. The divine revelation up here of all powerful, all good, and the divine revelation here that lets suffering happen, that has to do with the filters that are in between these revelations all the way down here in the physical world, a world of knowledge of good and evil. Suffering is something subjective. It definitely happens, and there is a random and chaotic and brutal element to creation on this level. The root, the all-powerful God, as you say, and I don't know God. All I know is how God reveals himself to me. That initial divine revelation is one where there is no good and bad. Consider the triangle that has a singular root, but then a duality. God's initial revelation is at the top of that pyramid, at the top of that triangle, a singularity ungraspable by human beings. And then by the time it gets down here, it has split. Hold on a sec. I think that's your friend, my man. Can you call him back? Does it end with 200? Get your phone, let me know. Is that it? I'm okay, I'm not answering. I'm streaming. Okay. Great analogy, very well put, says keep moving. Yeah, I mean, look, it's like saying, is food feces? No. Then how can it become feces? It's because it's lower. There are things here, good and evil, right? There are the enzymes and there are the different acids at work pulling things apart violently, very hot things, right? So yeah. Your mom is calling. Nope, that would show up as a different number. Chrysler George. Nazarite, but that would show him as well. Do you subscribe to the belief that Israel and Rome are eternal enemies? No. If we go with the idea that Israel and Rome are Jacob and Esau, we are brothers. We each received our blessing. We each received a legacy. We each received an inheritance. There is sibling rivalry, and it will be just like after 20-odd years when Jacob and Esau met and they embraced truly as brothers. That's what will happen on a larger scale, God willing. And eventually God will pour his spirit upon all flesh. My father says, yes, he found his phone. Yes. Last time I was in your room, it was lost in discharge. Yes, it took him 90 seconds at my behest and insistence. You can see it. It happened live on stream. I'm going to have to take this. I'll be right back, people. Beep, boop, beep. No, not a super chat goal. I'll be back in a moment. I mean, I don't see myself here. I think I need to redo the thingy. I think I need to refresh my screen. But you can see me, you can hear me. We're good? Cool. Alexander is here. AN1UK is here. Come on, commercials. SpongeBob is here. Hey, I never really saw SpongeBob. Palestina is not a terrorist organization, sicko. No, Palestine is the region, and Rome gave it that name. The terrorist organizations are of Palestine. That's what they say. Of course, Hamas never wanted a state of Palestine. They just want Jews not to have Israel. So, yes, I took a phone call, Ava Blue. I took a phone call, and that's why I was buffering. I took a phone call. I might have to take another phone call, but I'm back. I'm here with you right now. Get a damn haircut. No, Yam Clapper. Nazarites may not cut their hair. You look like a broke Jew. No, thank God. I'm wealthy and healthy and well. Thank God. That might change in a heartbeat, but Yam Clapper, yeah. Sound and video is clear. Thank you, Solarium. I'm Salorium. Not Solarium, Salorium. Tell me about Yomah 39b. You'll have to refresh my memory. It's been a long time since I studied Masechet Yomah. So what is the halacha? Forget Yomah 39b. Take whatever contentious gotcha you'd want to take from 39b, and I'm asking you, did it actually become halacha? Many Christians and anti-Jewish, anti-Israeli, anti-Zionist, anti-Semites, they come on here and it's like, oh, what about the Talmud? Yeah! And I go, yeah? The thing that's very contentious, the opinion of the sage, the teaching, the lore, did it actually become rabbinic law? What is around it? What is the context? But people think they can just say, oh, look what the Talmud says. And I go, yeah, not everything written in the Talmud is halacha. Not everything written in the Talmud is rabbinic law. So, if you want to argue over the opinions of sages from 2,000 years ago, go for it. But if you want to talk about practicality and actuality, that means halacha. That's derived from the Talmud. Please brush your hair. No, funny guy, I'm not allowed to use a brush or a comb according to the Nazarite vow. I need you to brush your hair, sir. No, I don't think so. Were you zapped before the live? No, this is just my thing. Just my thing. Can I ask you a question? I believe that was a question, but you may ask any question you want. Juice, but with a W, says YRN. I hate these people, says Jaw Jackin. Well, if you're gonna jack, might as well do it at your jaw. Shave, says Yash. I don't see that happening, but I appreciate the sentiment and the positive vibration. Why are Jewish people not allowed to brush their hair? They are. I'm a Hebrew Nazarite. The Nazarite man or woman who took on a Nazarite vow are not allowed to use a comb or a brush or rip hair out from the root. Are you possessed? Yes, I am possessed. By what? I leave that up to you. What is the reason for not cutting your hair, says Shiam? The Nazarite vow. You can look it up. What is the reason? Oh, I'm sorry. Get your hair or all your money will go to charity. Cut your hair or all your money will go to charity. Well, the revenue from this live stream is going to charity after YouTube takes its cut. And Jeffrey, I'm not cutting my hair. I'd rather have both. I'd rather have hair and money. The best of both worlds. What type of BS is that, says Yam Clapper. It's a type of BS that's a little bit runny, a little bit chunky, like from an angry bull that's been fed the wrong thing for a few days. It's been building up. It's that kind of BS. What is a Nazarite? I ask from a position of curiosity and wanting to learn. A Nazarite is a man or woman of the Hebrew tribes who took on the Nazarite vow. No cutting of the hair, no partaking of anything grape-related, and in the Nazarite vow in Numbers 6, no coming into contact with dead human bodies. And I am a Samson Nazarite, which is a little different. Same general principles apply. You sure the Nazarite wasn't written by ChatGPT? Yam Clapper, I'm pretty sure the Nazarite laws appear in the Torah. The Torah has a long history of before ChatGPT was on the scene. If you want to make the argument that there is some sort of a spiritual or celestial ChatGPT, that we are in a simulation and spirituality itself is artificial intelligence, that's above my pay grade. You say you're not allowed to cut your hair, but from how old you appear to be, your beard seems a little bit short. This is my original beard. I've never shaved it. I've never cut it. I've trimmed it once in my life, but that's it. And it was something like, it was even shorter than this when I just trimmed a couple of ends over here, and that's it. And I've only done that once. So no, I took my vow Braxis. I took my vow 16 years ago at age 27. I've been growing the beard ever since I was a teenager. I never really shaved it. This is my original growth of hair and a beard. Thoughts on Druze, that they are sometimes getting such a raw deal from the Israeli government and their brothers and sisters in Islam. Such a raw deal. I've served with some really great Druze people in the army, spoken to them, had guard duty with them. And my thoughts are that I think it's a lovely thing to keep your religion close to you. And I think that the sages and the more knowledgeable people in the religion don't let those secrets out. Now, if those are secrets that are universal and that can apply universally, maybe they could. If it's things that apply just for their faith and their practicing and their worship, then I dig that. The fact that they keep it close. Is Nazarite vowel about the grape stuff to do with the Garden of Eden fruit or Noah's drunkenness? Yes, it does. It most definitely does. The opinion in the Zohar and one opinion in the Talmud is that the fruit of knowledge of good and evil was a grape. So yes, it has a lot to do with that. The Nazarite vow is about taking yourself out of one position and going back to that Edenic mindset and being that have to do with the tree of life and not the tree of knowledge of good and evil. It's using what you can in this world to elevate yourself, not to get back to Eden, but to pull those Edenic energies down into your being, down into creation, right? Keep your head in the clouds and your feet firmly on the ground. That's the Nazarite vow. Wow, says Legend 470. Indeed, wow. Wait, is that a truck? Is that the IKEA truck coming back? No, you'd see it. Okay, that's fine. Let's continue. You served in the military. Yes, Michael Tucci. I was a field medic, a combat medic in the Israeli Defense Forces. I was discharged 5 years ago. So the vow you took for the rest of your life. Yes, keep moving. It's a Samson vow from the moment I took it until the grave and beyond. The funny guy, do Nazarite people buy DVDs? I did at the time. I haven't bought a DVD in years. But yes, I enjoy a good DVD every now and then, though I barely use them, if ever. I can't remember the last time I used a DVD player. Are you allowed to play violent video games? Well, halachically it might be permissible, but not encouraged, because you are what you consume in many ways, and the things you let into your mind and into your heart, into your ears and eyes, it matters. It matters what you consume. It matters the environment that you're in. So violent video games for fun and recreation, I suppose some would say that it's not good, because it's wasteful time that you could be dedicating to bettering yourself, right? For getting really strict and Torah study, and that's sort of taking that time and doing something else. And you're allowed to play video games according to some halachic rulers, and you're probably not allowed to play violent video games according to other halachic rulers, so ask your rabbi, and you will know. Do you support Israel government, says Yashka? Yes, but not blindly and not fully. I'm critical of the government. I'm critical of the state and the establishment and the army. I think that this current administration needs to go immediately, as soon as possible. And generally, I support them because it's the state of Israel, but I don't support them blindly, nor do I buy into the entirety of the Zionist government's narrative of what's going on in the world and in Israel. Very admirable. I admire dedication. Maybe, but the Nazarite ship called to me. I could not ignore it. It was a call that I could not ignore. It has to do with, right? It has to do with who I am and what I'm doing. Do you condemn the idea of greater Israel? No, I don't. I just don't think it's a goal. I don't think it's an aim. I don't think it should be a goal or an aim. To condemn greater Israel means to say that the different borders, and there are disputes and differences of opinions on the nature of these borders, the geographical borders, appear different times in the Torah and in the Bible in different ways. Do I condemn the idea? No, I don't support it just for the sake of it. I always say, and I said it an hour ago on the live stream, greatness does not come from territory or land. Greatness comes from the character of the people of the nation. That is greatness. Greatness comes from humility. Greatness comes from discipline and dedication. Greatness comes from being a good person and helping others and contributing, and not just having more. That's not greatness. Seriously, have you never ever shaved? Not once. Great to see you. Hey, AA. No, when I was 16, 17, I had a wisp of a mustache and a wisp of a little, a few hairs here, and that I used to shave off occasionally every few weeks to avoid like the shadow. But that's it. All of this is natural growth. All of this is natural growth. So yeah. I've never shaved my beard entirely ever. That's how it goes. Hey, Hinaz, Apodis is here. Hope you're well. I am well, thank God. You seem to have more inquisitive and sensible viewership today. It makes a nice change, LOL. Yeah, I suppose, yeah, it's a good observation. That's a good observation. Musao says, not asking out of bigotry or malice, just the Middle Eastern history is not well taught in Kenya. What do you think of the Israeli-Palestinian situation, that it needs to be resolved through de-radicalization of both sides? Does your perspective represent most Jews? No, I think my perspective is for me, and I don't claim to represent all Jews. Not, Orthodox, religious, secular, whatever. No, I just am a representative of me, and I do a piss poor job at that. So, how I become Jews? You convert to Judaism. Have at it if you're interested. It is a bond for life. You fuse yourself to the tribes. It's a covenant until the grave and afterwards. So be sure you know what you're doing. And, the Middle Eastern history. So many things are misunderstood about this place, about all the money. I'm sorry, the name that user says the money made him smile, so I had a Freudian slip. Religion is man-made, they've, says Uncle Pecos. Yes, religion has a man-made element to it, written by people for people. It has an origin in divinity or in divine revelation. Who called you for Nazarite? Asal says. I had the calling. Let's just say I got the call and leave it at that. Are you Israeli? Yes, I am. Jonathan's Aviation YouTube. I am Israeli. אתה ישראלי? כן, אני ישראלי מירושלים. מה קורה? חודש טוב. Apartheid state, says Adnans, you are mistakenly false. There's nothing to back up the claim, nothing whatsoever to back up the claim of apartheid. There are 2 million Arabs here, Muslims and Christians, Arab Israelis, 2 million of them. Signs are in Arabic, institutions are Arabic. We have an Arabic, justices and Supreme Court justices in the past, or one, perhaps, maybe more than one. I don't follow. They are in every place of industry and innovation, medicine, art, municipality. They are everywhere. They are a part of the backbone of this society. That is apartheid? Really? We have Arab-only fountains? We have Arab-only buses. There are buses that go to Arab locations that are more predominantly Arab. That exists. But there is no apartheid. That's false. Do your history check and you'll see. Much love, says Michael. I hope your country finds peace. I hope humanity and this creation finds peace. I hope this planet finds peace. If a Nazarite is not to go near a dead body, does that prohibit them from going to a family member's funeral? Yes, it does. Now, the Samson Nazarite does not have this prohibition. I am allowed to be defiled by human death, by corpses. But I do abstain from that. But if it does occur that I need to go to a funeral or a cemetery, then I do. Because I was a field medic. And I was still serving as a medic when I took my vow. And I didn't want to contradict myself or appear to be as a hypocrite. And that was one of the reasons I took the Samson vow. And there are other reasons too. But that's the reason, that's one reason why I was like, I can't say that I won't come next to dead bodies or come into contact with human death when I am a field medic who might definitely and have come into contact with death. So, but a Nazarite who is not a Samson Nazarite, who takes on the Nazarite ship, is not allowed next to dead bodies, dead humans, I mean. That much is correct, and you do not attend funerals. That's true. Bro can smell other dimensions. Yes, I can, Dookie McDuke. I love the name, Dookie. That reminds me of Green Day. What an album. What an album. What do you think about the idol worshippers? Z8M says that they worship idols. That's what I think. What Jews think about Satan? Well, Jews have no devil. We do have Satan in Hebrew means adversary, Satan. That is Hebrew for adversary. What Jews think about Satan basically is that it is a servant of the Most High God, just like we are, or aim to be. The adversary is the one that challenges you to become more than what you are. The adversary is the one that puts things in your way for you to overcome. The adversary is the workout that you go through to tear a muscle apart and make it stronger and better and larger and healthier. In the very same way, the adversary is here and may have many iniquitous sort of works, if that's even a term. But this is all from our perspective. From the general perspective, we both serve the Most High God. That right? Satan does his job, him and his La Familia. And we do try to do our job. His job is to challenge us. His job is to set the stage for us to stumble and fall. Our job is to resist the temptation, keep our eyes open, and not fall, and keep rising. And when we do fall, which we inevitably do, to get up, dust ourselves off, and keep going on the path of simplicity, righteousness, and humility. And so the adversary, Satan, is not some rebellious force, like in Christianity, in some denominations of Christianity. It is a positive element in creation that can seem highly negative. But Satan is the adversary. Satan puts the drama in, just like Pacino in Devil's Advocate. Have you seen in ridding yourself of klipot and getting tikkunim? So I have never engaged in a Kabbalistic sense of Kabbalah Ma'asit, practical Kabbalah, in ridding myself of klipot and getting tikkunim. The klipot and the tikkunim that as I see them, are working on my character traits, on my personality, what's called midot. To keeping myself in check, to keep myself in measure. That is also something that is a natural product of humility, which I am also trying to acquire and to walk that path of humility. Of its own accord, it can take care of many klipot and make many tikkunim happen. Things like hitbodedut, right? So that's how I go about it. I try to be a good person. I try to keep to Torah and commandments, and of its own accord, it has helped me by the grace of God, right? That life has helped me to, insofar as I can perceive it, shed myself of a few klipot and take on a few tikkunim. And by tikkunim, it's a two-faceted thing. Tikkun can mean repairing or rectifying. Tikkun can also mean adorning. And so it's not simply getting things back to the way they were and to a state of goodness and righteousness. It's to go beyond that. And that can only be if you have something in your way pushing you to become better. So the klipot are there as a negatively perceived positive force. It all depends on the lens through which you wish to view them. But I do not engage with the klipot if I can help it. I transgress, I sin, I'm fallen. I'm not some holier than thou righteous person. I'm not levitating above everyone else, not even a little. But I do choose to stick with sanctification of life. Klipot are they represent death. Death was brought into creation after partaking of the fruit of knowledge of good and evil. Going back to the Eden and the Nazarite ship and everything that has to do with the tree of life, that is what I choose to cling to. The klipot and the tikkunim are shed and had of their own accord, and not by my doing, right, but by the grace of God. What do you think about Karaite Jews? I love the idea of the Karaite Jew who follows the 5 books of Moses, but not rabbinic Orthodox tradition, and have their own ways of deriving halacha that doesn't consider rabbinic Judaism, Orthodox Judaism, to be binding. I like that very much. I think they have a real good thing going, and I'm a fan. Any opinions on Itamar Ben-Gvir? Jonas says, no, because I don't deal with politics. I don't know who the guy is or what he's doing. I know that he's the minister of security. Uriah, please call your mother. She asked, charge your phone, call your mama.
I forgot where I put my phone.
My man, it's somewhere here. You'll find it. Okay. Why don't you choose to comb your hair, Ryan asks. Because I'm a Nazarite. Nazarites may not use combs or brushes or other things. Do you have an interest in alchemy? Only spiritual alchemy, not physical alchemy. Spiritual alchemy. You're very well spoken, says Pika's uncle, Pika's. I just think your relying on religion is misguided. Religion was created to control man through fear. Some facets of religion and some religious people do that. But yes, please call her. That's what she said. But religion as an idea, as a way, as a discipline, as a path, that has a lot of merit. And so I pick and choose. And that is why I pick and choose. Because I want to pick and choose the good things, the righteous things, as far as I can perceive them. The things that can benefit humanity, the things that can benefit myself and my household. So even though certain facets of religion were created by people for people, and even though some facets of religion are corruptible to a great degree because of that, I still maintain that the root of religion as an idea, as a way to facilitate spirituality, the direct connection between creator and creation, that is something that no amount of organized religion can truly, truly ever extinguish. It's a light that is so great that even though there are many pitfalls and drawbacks and Lord knows so much hate and division and war and bloodshed that religion brought into the world, its root is what I cling to more than anything. So when you say relying on religion is misguided, if I was relying on those other things, likely. To me, to want to get to the root of things and rely on that root, I think is not misguided, though I may be stumbling towards it and making mistakes, to be sure. Let's continue. Me says, what does being a Nazarite do for you? Is it just a gzeirah, or it changes your perception? So people have asked me that. Each man or woman who takes on the Nazarite vow goes through a unique and personal experience from what called them to make the vow, take the vow that they took. There are 4 different types of Nazarites in halacha. Depending on the one that they took, says something as well. And it's not a gzerah, it's a neder. That means vow. Gzerah means like a prohibition of our sages, gzerat chachamim. So what does it do for me? It is inherently, inextricably part of who I am and how I live my life. It has affected me. I felt called to the Nazariteship for a long time, and I was living that life for a while in some ways before actually taking the vow. I needed to be sure that I'm doing this from the right reasons, from the right place, and that it's not just the evil inclination saying to me, yes, say you're a Nazarite, take on this stuff, and then you can shirk your responsibility and think yourself all holy, and no, I had to be sure that it's coming from a good place, a simple place, a humble place, a place of truth. So, that idea of has it changed my perception? Yes, about many, many things, because the Nazariteship has to do with the tree of life. This world has to do with knowledge of good and evil. And the fruit, even though I am irrevocably part of this world, right? I'm not some guru on the mountain. Those people exist. I'm not one of them. The Nazariteship is being in the nasty, stanky funk of earth, keeping your head in the clouds and your feet firmly on the ground. That's in a big part what being Jewish is. The Nazarite man or woman, depending on what called them to the Nazariteship, does something for them. Every Nazarite that I've spoken to and that I've been in touch with has something else to say about it and how it's affected them and the twist, if you will, that it's put on their lives. You are evil, says Dead Fat Bong, Fat PH. Yes, I am evil. I am reprehensible. I am appalling. I am abhorrent. I am the epitome of everything that is shit about this world. You are correct. But, and here's a big but, and I like big buts, and I cannot lie, I'm trying to do better. Day by day, thought by thought, word by word, stream by stream. I'm trying to do better. Any way you could tell me why we should learn Gemara more than Kabbalah? No, I haven't learned Gemara regularly in about 20 years, ever since I finished yeshiva, the first part of yeshiva. Never since did I pick up a Gemara and learn it regularly. I have learned Mishnah on and off regularly, but not Gemara. So, why? Nobody said that. You should definitely learn kosher Kabbalah from a kosher master if you are called toward those teachings, and not everybody is. So that's that. And if you're not called towards Kabbalah, make an attempt anyway to study a little bit because it can inform your other Torah study in a big way. And if you're not called to study these, your neshama, your soul, your life spirit, your life force comes from a different root, if you will. So stick to the Gemara, stick to the Toshba, Torah Shebe'al Peh, the oral traditions, Mishnah, Gemara, Halacha, Agada, Midrash, right? Torah Shebichtav. But Kabbalah is part of the oral traditions as well. And I still look up to you, says SpongeBob. Thanks, man. I don't know what you said before, but I appreciate that. Satan is bad, man. Really, cartoon shape. Satan is bad. It challenges you to become better. It puts something in your way for you to overcome, to become courageous, to be of courage and good spirit and energy and strength. That is what an adversary does. It forces you to contend with who you are and what you're doing. Super chat came in. Do you condemn the actions of the IDF in Gaza? No. I condemn the actions of individual soldiers who may have genocidal intent and may be homicidal psychopathic maniacs. And if they are indeed those individual people carrying out atrocities, they deserve to be put on trial and brought to justice. IDF is the Israeli Defense Forces. We are fighting a defensive war against a terrorist organization that has embedded itself into the civilian population intentionally, premeditated, to maximize civilian casualties. So I condemn the actions of any atrocities, war crimes, crimes against humanity, things of that nature. But the actions of the IDF in Gaza were because the IDF and Israel withdrew from Gaza over 20 years ago. Hamas, instead of establishing a Palestinian state and foundation, right, a foundation of goodness and wellness, quality of life for its people, they decided to continue their terrorist ways and attack Israeli people, continue to want to annihilate Israel. They don't want a Palestinian state. They just want the Jews not to have a state. And so the IDF had to be called into action. So I do not condemn it whatsoever. I condemn the actions of individual people who are genocidal, homicidal, psychopathic brutes. That I condemn wholeheartedly. How, in your experience, can one deal with the yeshiva's culture of not learning Kabbalah, especially if as a Baal Tshuva don't connect with Gemara at all? Well, I wouldn't presume to know what all the yeshiva world could do and would do and should do. Far be it from me to say what other people should do. I will only say that I've been studying Kabbalah. Studying is a strong word. I've been reading introductions to introductions of introductions to Kabbalah ever since I was 16 years old. It has shaped the way that I live in a huge way. I could not imagine my life without the lore of the Tree of Life, guiding it. I stumble, I fall, I transgress, I sin, but that is the path that I'm trying to walk, the path of the Tree of Life. If yeshiva culture is all about that exile and they don't want to study Kabbalah, their loss. Kabbalah is inherently part of the Torah. It's part of the oral traditions that were written down. It is the very foundation. Istakel be'oraita ubara alma. God looked into the Torah and created the world. That is the Tree of Life. That is atzilut bria yetzira asiya. That is creation. That is being in the spiritual and the physical. To not invest any time at all in the lore of the Tree of Life is to leave out a fundamental part of what it means to be made in the image of God. The 10 Sefirot are that image. To learn Kabbalah means to learn who you are and how you relate to the world and to those around you, how you relate to the other worlds, and how you elevate everything from this lowly, tiny, physical, disjointed place hurling around space around a nuclear explosion. You seem like a well-balanced individual, says Take Time and Pause. I wish a lot of blessings. Thank you, I appreciate it. I have times when I am unbalanced. I have times when I get angry, usually at the people I love, but I try to keep a balanced view, an open mind. Some people have said to me, don't be so open-minded that you lose your brain completely. Too late, I say to them. What do you think of atheists and what do Jews think of atheism? Well, I don't represent all Jews. I think atheists are atheists. They do not believe in any deity. They are without a God. And I say, good for them. If they can still manage to live righteously and ethically and morally and simply walk before God, and walk as part of creation, contributing to the societies in which they live and trying to live with dignity and trying to, do their thing, giving their unique gift to the world. They are also made in the image of God, in my estimation, despite their non-belief. It's no skin off my schnoz. It's all good. People will do what they do. The Golden Bear says, thank you for your time and understanding. Yeah, I have my moments. Omar says, stop ignoring me, cowards. I'm sorry, I only saw your username now. I'm not ignoring you. There are 200 people here now. The chat is moving fairly rapidly. I don't get to every single thing. If I don't get to you in the chat, please leave a comment. If I don't get to you in the chat, hit me up in a DM, Hebrew Nazarite, look for my tree. So, yes. Let's continue. Can you explain what is Karabaka? I don't know what Karabaka is, Yorker. I don't know what Karabaka is. Me says, what do you think of Jung and Kabbalah? So I'm more versed in Kabbalistic teachings than Jungian teachings. Can one reconcile other esoteric cultures and emes, or an MS and truth? Shkoyach, you're great. Thanks, me, I appreciate it. Yishal Koach means may your path be strengthened, or maybe may your strength be in a good path, in a righteous path. I think that the idea of the selves definitely lends itself to Kabbalistic teachings. I think the idea of the archetype definitely lends itself to Kabbalistic teachings, insofar as Abba, Ima, Ze'er, Nukba, right? Mother, father, son, daughter. I think they can coincide, and I think many times they do coincide. But I don't know enough about Jungian psychology or psychoanalysis to say anything of actual substance. Can you explain? I'm sorry, I don't know what that is. You did misspell it. That's what I like about God's chosen people. They don't want you to become Jewish. No, if you're called towards the Torah, tfaddal, welcome. If you're called towards the Hebrew faith and the Hebrew covenant and the Torah and the commandments, yes. Do not ignore the calling. Make sure it's real, make sure it's genuine, because this is for life. But those who want to bring themselves and fuse themselves for whatever reason to the tribes of Israel are welcome to do so all over the world. But not everybody is supposed to be Jewish. And, the Jews have their task. The nations have their task. That's it. Let your Messiah, Jesus, change you, says Peter. Well, my Messiah is not Jesus. If I was around at the time, I could have very well been happy to call him rabbi and follow him around Jerusalem. I think that could have been really educational and very teaching. But he's dead. He's a dead man, a righteous dead man, but a dead man nonetheless. Let's continue. 200 people, rapid fire. Yeah, SpongeBob, exactly. Do you believe the Greater Israel Project? Chat, answer him. I already answered this twice. I meant Kabbalah. Can you explain what it is? Kabbalah means to receive. Right? God is revealed in creation through the 10 attributes known as the 10 Sfirot, or the Tree of Life. Kabbalah is the study of the relationship between those divine revelations, how they relate to you as a human being made in the image of God, as a person of matter and of soul, of physical and spiritual, and how you pertain to the spiritual realms and the spiritual worlds. And if you're a Hebrew person studying Kabbalah, it informs you how you should go about fulfilling the commandments in such a way that you will bring the unity of the divine masculine and feminine presence, thus bringing new light into creation and elevating yourself and those around you and all creation in the process, from the most spiritual end of the spectrum to the most physical end of the spectrum. That's you. You have your head in the clouds and your feet on the ground. You have that divine soul, the image of God, but you're also a mammalian animal. Kabbalah teaches you how to receive that lore, apply it to yourself and your life, thus elevating yourself, heightening your awareness, expanding your horizons and your consciousness. Sudlu says, Hebrew Nazarite, what is the difference between Hebrew and Jewish? Jewish means a remnant of the kingdom of Judah. That's the tribe of Yehudah, the tribe of Binyamin, and parts of the tribe of Levi. Hebrew is all-encompassing because it's after Avram the Hebrew, Abram the Hebrew, the sons of Evil, who was the great-grandson of Noah. That is the difference between Hebrew and Jew. Hebrew is more all-encompassing, and Jewish is the remnants of the kingdom of Judah. That's the technical thing. Can I join even if I'm Goyim? Can you join what? Oh, heaven. There is no, right, Jews don't believe in a classic, like, Christian heaven and hell as a place of eternal anything. It's a waiting room on the way to creation phase 2. So Eden is a waiting room. Higher and lower Eden are waiting rooms. Gehinnom, as it's known, is closer to, like, the Christian purgatory, a temporary place of cleanliness and of purgation, of purification, nothing eternal. There are a few sages in the Talmud who disagree and say that some people were so transgressing to rebel and bring anger to the world, that they did receive some sort of forever judgment. I don't think that. I'm not going against them. I just don't think that way. Hebrew is from Ever. Yes, exactly. Ivri, Ever. That's what Hebrew is. Team hype, that is correct. Do Jews believe in the devil? Chat, someone answer him. Alavax asked a question that I literally answered 5 minutes ago. Joe says, people of Judah were exiled for worshipping idols, LOL. Why are they so special? They're not special. They're just Jews. Nobody said they're special. I didn't say they're special. Other people did, for sure. I don't consider Jews to be special. I consider Jews to be Jews. That's it. That's all we are. You want to be special? Act in special ways. Manifest the speciality. Then other people could call you special, but you, no, definitely not. And as for, no, they were exiled for worshipping idols in the first temple era. They were exiled for self-hating infighting in the second era. Baseless hatred is what burned down the second temple and what brought it down from the inside out. By the time Rome actually came through in 70 of the Common Era and burned down the physical building known as the Second Temple, it was already decaying and burned from the inside. The people were horrible to each other, the sects were fighting, so much tribalism, if you will, and so much infighting. It was horrible, baseless hatred, judgment, bloodshed. It was terrible. We love you, Palestine. We hate you, Israel. Thanks, Hot Chocolate and Art. I love the username. It's good to love. It's not that good to hate. Okay. Me says, I don't like the totalitarian culture of Hasidism, super Litvish hierarchies, nor do I. Tzaddikim exist, but so many are called great folks fail us. How do we think of our leaders and how much we should listen? That's an independent personal thing. That's why I no longer consider myself Orthodox. I am off their derech and I am on my derech. For all of its faults and all of its frailties and all of my inadequacies, yes, I am on my derech. And I might be mistaken, but it's a mistake that I am making wholeheartedly. And I'm all in. So, tzaddikim exist. This is true. Tzaddikim and tzaddikaniyot or tzaddikot do exist. I don't rely on great folk. I'm standing on the shoulders of the great folk of old. I don't truly rely on any specific tzaddik, on any specific rabbi. I have no rabbi, and that's part of why I have dead rabbis that I try to live up to in the sense of the legacy that they left and the Torah that they taught, right? People like Rav Kook, people like Rabbi Nachman, people like Moses. But as far as thinking, leaders and listening, that's a halachic thing, and I do not consider myself Orthodox because of that. I no longer put myself under the totalitarian, blind, strict halacha. I pick and choose everything, and I make no apology. So I don't have that problem. I'm just doing my own Hebrew thing. Kirano says, if you don't like God, then go away and live life. Stop hating on people who do. Yes, but people want to share their opinion. Case in point. People want to be heard. People want to be seen. People want to be validated. People want to have their biases confirmed. People want to go up against people to make themselves feel better. You know how it is. Human psychology. Are you homeless? BK says. No, I've always, by the grace of the Most High, have had a great home, a lovely home to come home to. So, no, I'm not homeless. Let's continue. Who is the prophet in Deuteronomy 18:18? Presumably you're talking about the laws of Hebrew prophets. There is no the prophet. It is a prophet. It doesn't say Hanavi, the prophet. It says a prophet, Navi me'achecha kamoni, a prophet from your brethren like me. You need a haircut, Shaheen says. Yes, many people say I need a haircut, to which I reply, oh, I'm sorry, are you me? No? Cool, thank you for the advice. Not going to do it, but I appreciate it. Definitely. Bro lives in a closet, says Get-Em23. In a closet? I mean, in the sense of that every now and then Michael Jackson's In the Closet is playing in my head? Yeah, definitely. That video with Naomi Campbell was part of my sexual awakening, make no mistake. Block spammers by clicking on their pictures, says Vigil. Well, feel free to do that as individual viewers. On this channel, it's a free-range chat. I don't block, I don't put in timeouts, I don't censor. I don't, filter. YouTube does some minimal filtering of its own accord that I don't control. Okay. Marcus says, why do you think in religion everything was thousands of years ago and not current? Everything is definitely current. Everything wasn't thousands of years ago. I can't speak for any other religion, but the Hebrew faith, in its current incarnation as the Orthodox Rabbinic Judaism, is a direct result of the written Torah and the oral Torah being written down because of exile. So in some ways we are stuck in the past halachically. In other ways we are very, very much evolving. So I can't speak for any other faith, but from the onset, the Hebrew faith was meant to progress and evolve. The oral Torah was never meant to be written down. The oral Torah was meant to remain oral and progress with society. That's the thing with conservative Jews and Reform Jews, that I see their point loud and clear. Loud and clear. So, not everything was thousands of years ago. This Nazariteship, for instance, is happening here and now. People gathering right now all over Israel to daven mincha, right? To say the grace and the blessings and the prayer of the afternoon or early evening, because mincha gedolah from now, along these lines of now during the day. They are living it. They are living this out. Is there a temple? No. Is there Sanhedrin? No. Is there a king? No. Is there an altar? No. Is there Torah? Yes. Is there prayer? Yes. Is there the spontaneous speech between you and your Creator? Yes. Are there ways of loving kindness, grace, and benevolence and humility that you can walk? Yes. That is the essence of the Torah. Okay. Do you have a favorite psalm? Do I have a favorite psalm? Good question. I mean, the first one, Ashrei Haish. But there are many. There are so many. I don't know. So many great psalms. Really, I don't know. I couldn't give you one. It changes for me throughout life. Emmy says, why does the Kabbalah seem overlaid on the story of Torah? It seems like Torah is all nistar in the real meaning. Why don't we only see the higher truth? I don't understand. By the time the Torah received garments of this world, right, of nigleh, parchment, dead animal, processed chemically, with ink, a scribe holding it, as pure and post-mikveh as a scribe can be, a great sofer stam, a groisa neshama, he is the one writing it down eventually. The areas of the pardes by which we could learn the Torah, the fact that istakel be'oraita ubara alma, God looked into the Torah and created the world, there are different levels to the Torah. Why does the Kabbalah seem to be overlaid with the story? Because, like the Zohar says, all of the Torah is names of the Holy One, blessed be He. The written Torah corresponding with Tiferet, the torso. The oral Torah corresponding either to the tip of the penis or the clitoris, where life comes out of, and life is, right, that organ that was created for pleasure, or the mouth, Torah shebe'al peh, both represent Malchut, the lower feminine revelation. The higher truth is there. Sometimes it's there right in the open, like that's it. That's a timeless truth. That's a wonderful foundation and a great principle. That is the real meaning. That's what Hillel told the convert. The rest is commentary. The Torah is nistar and nigleh, and it behooves us to immerse in both of them if we can afford to do it. Rastafari, says Regino. Well, I'm not a Rasta, but yes. Rastafari means Rosh Tiferet, Rastafari, head of splendor, alluding to Keter, alluding to the crown. And Haile Selassie, which was the name he took on as emperor, is Chayil HaShlosha, might of the Trinity. Okay. Have you ever had to unclog a toilet on the Sabbath? Likely. Sure. Likely, though I can't recall a specific time where I had to unclog a toilet on Sabbath. Where will you go when you die? Where did you come from? Well, that depends. Physically, I came from the meeting of a sperm and an egg 43 or 44, if we can, conception years ago. Where will I go will I die? A waiting room, a good one, a bad one, a place of pleasure, a place of purification, depending on my deeds here in this world, but it's just a waiting room. We are all awaiting to partake of the fruit of the tree of life, creation phase 2. That's where I go when I die, when I part from the physical body. Where did I come from? The body came from biologically, right? From human conception and biology. I came out of my mother's vagina. My spiritual element, the nefesh, ruach, neshama, those come from the spiritual realms, if you will. And that's where I come from, and that's where I'm going. I came from a drop of semen, and I am going to a place of that depends on how I conduct myself in this world. Good God, the moronic comment, says Grecky Grek. Yeah, some of them are moronic, all of them are welcome. That's the rule on this channel. Psalms all relevant on journey. Yes, I agree, SpongeBob. All are, that's right. Emmy says, any Rebbeim or movements who choose Kabbalah over Halacha from Shulchan Aruch? And how is this possible? Well, look, the yeshivot of the Mekubalim, for instance, the Kabbalists' yeshivas, they do study Halacha because that's a fundamental part of the Orthodox path. Halacha, it's the way, it's right, lelechet, is to walk. That facilitates the Orach Chaim. That's how you live. The Kabbalah, right, be it Lurianic Kabbalah or Ramban Kabbalah or Ramak Kabbalah, whatever the Kabbalah that you're studying might be, as long as it's kosher Kabbalah from a kosher master, there will always be a place for halacha, because halacha... I'll be back in about here. I wasn't there at the store, my wife was there, my mother-in-law was there. They got a few things for my mother-in-law, a few things for us. And we haven't gotten new furniture in many years. So that's a good thing. A great blessing. He is getting instructed by Mossad. Yes, Yorker, Mossad is international. I am local. When will you people know that? Shin Bet, police, border police, or patrol. That is local. Mossad is international. I'm in Israel. Okay. Let's continue. The oldest Bible is in Greek. I think you're mistaken. I think the older one is in Hebrew, but I might be mistaken. I might be. Okay. We have the same ringtone. Glad he's not an Apple slave. No, I have a very cheap Android phone. Not too cheap. A friend of mine just said yesterday, a friend from work, he said, you should invest in a better camera, invest in a better phone. He said YouTube might reward a higher resolution, better than whatever it is that you're doing now. It is in Hebrew. Oh, so it's Greek, but in Hebrew? Are you talking about, which one are you talking about specifically? I'm curious. Oh, wow. You know what? I think I might say goodbye, although I just got back, and you people have been waiting. So let's stick around for some more Q&A, and I'll leave later. Torah is Hebrew, says Joe. Hebrew was not spoken as much when the Bible was written. Well, yeah, there were others, right? The Aramaic was there, and, well, Hebrew was there, and presumably other languages from the areas. Emmy says, how do we separate ourselves from the brick wall culture of some orthodoxy and keep halacha and community at the same time? I don't know. I have no community. The Nazarite path, in that sense, is a bit of a lonely path, though I do know modern Orthodox rabbis who took the Nazarite vow. One of them, by the way, if you want to check him out, he's an Orthodox rabbi, a Nazir Shimshon like myself. His name is Harav Yehuda Ohad Turjeman. Hold on, I'll write it down in Hebrew. Harav Yehuda Ohad Turjeman. Oh, nice. I wrote Turjeman, but it's Turjeman. And he was with me in yeshiva. And unbeknownst to the other, we both took a Nazarite vow. I took mine a few years before him, and he is an Orthodox rabbi, and I am not. Furthermore, I've spoken and sat and chatted with Rav Nazir Gabriel David, Rav Nazir Yehoshua Friedman of the Temple Institute. Your camera seems fine to me, good picture quality and sound. Okay, cool. So, how do you separate yourself? You need to decide whether or not you ought to. What did Hillel the sage say? Al tifrosh min hatzibur. Do not retire from the public. Do not retire from the people. Now, I've done that to some degree. I don't longer go to shul. I have no anash, right? I have no anshei shlomenu. The Hebrews, humanity, creation, the earthlings are my anash. And it can be a very lonely path. Can you have that personal thing and community? Definitely. I don't do that. Definitely you could. Yeah, definitely you could. Do you know, says King Host, cockroach janta party protest? No, I don't, but I'm intrigued. I'm very intrigued. Thoughts on Chabad? It's Maverick says, I enjoy their teachings overall. I've learned with some Chabad masters over the years. I don't agree with everything that it says in the Tanya. I don't agree with everything that the Rebbe says in his Sichot, right? That's a specific type of more Lurianic Kabbalah that is, it's instantiated in Lurianic Kabbalah. I'm not a Lurianic, I don't study Lurianic Kabbalah. So I'm not as connected with that. Chassidut by and large, is amazing and awesome. Chabad are great, and I hold them in great esteem. They do a lot of good for a lot of people. I have nothing bad to say against them in that sense. Are there some who are too militant? Yes. Are there some who believe that the Rebbe Schneerson, right, the Rabbi Milubavitch, the Lubavitcher Rebbe, is an actual god? Yes. Do they believe, some of them, that he is a Messiah who is still alive at 770 Eastern Parkway, Brooklyn, New York? Yes. All of that exists. But as for the teachings of Chabad and the goodness that they do, and I still hold them in great esteem because of when I was in the army and they came and they had a minyan for us, they read Scroll of Esther on Purim. They do amazing things and amazing works, and they have a lot of charitable organizations associated with them, and they do a lot. As for the bad things, those exist too. You can't take only the good and keep out the bad. Hasbara guy is still on. Well, if you call facts and history Hasbara, yes I am. I finished my coffee. It only took me 3 hours. He's Israeli, not Jewish. Really? I'm pretty sure I am an Israeli Jew, right? A remnant of the kingdom of Judah. So, if you say so. What do you think about davening with a minyan and talking to Hashem? I'm a man of hitbodedut. I've been doing it, though I didn't know that's what it was called. I've been a mitboded ever since I was a young boy, and it has never ever left me. I've always kept the channels of communication open between myself and the Creator, right, the Most High God. As for davening with a minyan, it has a lot of power, a lot of strength, because tefillah b'tzibur, right, praying as a congregation is amazing, because what you lack in some ways, another person isn't, and you can thus be a greater, something that is greater than the sum of its parts, a whole that is greater than the sum of its parts. That's what a minyan is. And in that sense, it's unbelievably useful and amazing, not to mention, right, that revelation of Shekhinah that pertains to the 10 Jewish men or women, respectively, right, on whatever minyan you want. There's something about that number 10. Ma lasot, nothing to be done about it. So you're evil. Yes, I am, Omar. Watch.
Calm down.
Spill the tea. Are you ex-Orthodox? No, I'm just a Hebrew man. I grew up modern Orthodox. I heard you. I did not hear that. Thank you. So I grew up modern Orthodox in Jerusalem, and Orthodoxy, modern Orthodoxy is still my home. It's still my root. I still believe in it as a path, but I'm doing my own thing, picking and choosing as I go along, and making no apologies. But there's definitely a lot of merit to keeping halacha, definitely a lot of merit to rabbinic Judaism, Orthodox Judaism, for sure. Should you take it all blindly? Some say yes. I couldn't do that with different things that were going on. I just published a short on this morning on why I don't consider myself religious. 2 parts. Let's continue. Next time, slow clap. Not sure what you mean, JN, but okay, maybe I will. If is very important to him, YouTuber says, a version level of evil within you to release onto your enemy. I don't know what you mean. What is it? כפרה עליך. עכשיו אתה נזכר? Now? There's nothing I can do about it now. Dude, you haven't said it to me recently. Listen. Let's cut to the chase here. What's the bottom line? Okay, so you'll have to wait. Okay, so call her and let's see what we can do. Good. אילן צרפתי, צהריים טובים, צהריים מעולים ומשובחים, למרות שזה 9 הימים, right? It's the 9 days. Traditionally, Orthodox Jews and others, presumably, right? These are days of mourning, the days between the straits, between the 17th of Tammuz and the 9th of Av. Today is the 2nd of the month of Av. Yesterday was the new moon, not last night, but 2 nights ago. And people don't eat meat, people don't shave, and people don't drink wine. And I, as a vegan Nazarite, already do all of those things. So, for very, very different reasons. No, I don't have that type of a phone. I don't have a card reader. Okay. Let's continue. Where's your hat? I have no hat. I'm a Nazarite man who is trying to grow the hair of a Nazarite. No hat for me. Okay. What are your thoughts on Daniel Weiss? Or Danielle, I don't know. I've heard the name, I don't recall, I'm sorry. I'm ignorant. דבר עברית עם המשפחה בלייב זה מדליק, says Vigil. מה אתה אומר? רק עברית? Do you believe black people are the true Israelites? I believe Israelites are the true Israelites, no matter what their skin color is, no matter what the percentage of melanin in their skin is. That's it. Does your son know you're a murderer? Hang on, I'll let him know. Hey, dude, I'm a murderer. Cool? Cool. That would go against my medic oath to be a murderer. Also, there's a big difference between killing and murdering, but now he knows, and it's a good thing you told him to tell me, to tell you, to tell... Yes. Okay. Another smart answer. Yes, I've never murdered anyone. In fact, as a field medic, I've taken care of Palestinian security prisoners, and I did exactly the same type of work that I did on everybody else, no matter what their skin color, what they speak, where they come from, friend or foe. It was my job. I take my medic's oath very seriously. To bring a little humor as I have to exit, how does a Jewish man brew a hot cup of tea? Well, it depends. Is it a weekday or is it a Sabbath? And he brews. That's how. Are you from the tribe of Judah? No, traditionally my family is of the tribe of Levi. We are Levites. I don't have the actual family tree to back this up. It's a tradition that is in my family for thousands of years. That is the tradition. Is it true? Is it not? I don't know, but I'm a Levite. Do you support Benjamin Netanyahu? Rollsafe says. No, I think he needs to go out of the administration ASAP, and we need to have new blood, new leadership. So I do not support him. Never have I ever voted for him. I haven't voted in over 20 years. Will there ever be peace? YouTuber says. Yes, there will. There will be peace. There will be love. There will be justice for all. There will be contentment. There will be embracing each other. I don't know how, but we will make it happen. Or when, but it will make it happen. Maybe this generation, as long as we're wishing for stuff. Do you feel guilty for the actions of your genocidal government? First of all, the government is not genocidal, Ged or Jed. There are people who are genocidal. They should not be in government. There are soldiers who are genocidal. They should not be in the army. I condemn those actions of genocide, war crimes, crimes against humanity, any atrocities done against, international law. I'm not up for that. See you, dude. Have fun. How are you going to get there? Okay, do that. No, that's fine. Oh, okay, fair enough. Good, go, have fun. Take a bottle of water. It's hot out there. Yes, precisely. Take a bottle. You don't want to, that's fine. So, do I feel guilty? No, I do not feel guilty. I, as a civilian, do what I can. I support peace and love and justice and righteousness. And I also support Israel's right to defend itself. Bye, baby. Be good. Love you. Against those who want to annihilate it, right? The bloodthirsty, warmongering terrorist regimes don't care about international law. The only law they care about is the one they make up for themselves. I don't abide by that. Not many people do like their government, says Marcus. Yeah, and that's also why I haven't voted in over 20 years. Politics is not my thing. Emmy says, why do you think that mainstream orthodoxy places so much emphasis on chumras and culture of the constant consciousness in Hashem and good midot? Good midot are the foundation of a good life. That orthodoxy should place great emphasis on, because it's from the inside out and from the outside in. Midot are who you are. Midot are who you are as a person, right? It's your personality. It's what you wear and what you say and how you comport yourself in the world and conduct yourself among yourself, your families, your neighbors, your co-workers, society, your town, your village, your consciousness in Hashem. That has to do with the way that you perceive divine revelation. You can heighten it, you can lower it, you can transgress, you can live a righteous life, and that changes the way you view the world in relation to the divine revelation. As for the emphasis on chumras, it comes from Asusyag Torah, right? Avot, Moshe kibel Torah miSinai, right? It came down, Joshua and the elders and the prophets, and then the people of the great assembly, Anshe Knesset HaGdolah, Hem amru shlosha dvarim. Up until then, it's just he received it from him, and he received it from him, and he gave it to them, and they took it from him. Vehem amru shlosha dvarim. And that's where it starts to go, oh, okay. So of all that, three things, and Asusyag LaTorah, right? Hevu metunim badin, ha'amidu talmidim arbe, Asusyag LaTorah, which means be very cautious in judgment, right? Be very, when you judge, don't judge too harshly. Make many pupils or disciples or students, and make a fence before the Torah. Give a limit to the Torah's limits. And that has made all of the chumras, and especially now when we don't have proper smicha, we don't have proper laying of the hands like from Moses to Joshua, we don't have proper rabbis, we don't have proper sages, we have halachic rulers, but halacha is stuck in the past. We need a Sanhedrin to be able to annul all kinds of gzerot and takanot and things of that nature. Halacha is supposed to progress with society and with civilization. Be local, but think globally. Yes, Apache Trail. That's right. Act locally, think globally. That thing. Please use your voice and vote him out. What he done on the people of Israel. I'm not a fan of Netanyahu. I don't know who in their right mind would want to be prime minister of Israel. But hey, I don't have a right mind either, so it's all good. Have you ever been high on LSD? Yes, I have. Terry Surat a handful of times. I've always had very wonderful trips. I've always had wonderful LSD experiences and mushrooms as well. And I am a fan. I'm a fan. Just remember set and setting, test your drugs, integrate the experience, right? Don't let it just bubble away. So yes, I've tried LSD. The first time I tried LSD was on the Feast of Sukkot. On Chol HaMoed Sukkot, I was 25. I think I was 25. And since then, I've done it a handful of times, and it has been always so lovely, so awesome, so great, so wrapping yourself in a warm, fuzzy blanket. Emmy says, how does Torah reconcile the sons will not pay for the sins of the father when we are all repairing sin of Adam, and all the peoples gave their fate locked in since the flood? Because we are Adam. That is why we die. We are part of Adam HaRishon. All humanity is part of Adam HaRishon. That's why we die. We did transgress. We did partake of the fruit of the tree of knowledge of good and evil. You and I, other humans, that's the basis for that. Do you not get tired of yapping, Goblin says. How are you even getting money? Well, first of all, I'm just the middleman. The money goes to charity here in Jerusalem, charities that serve East and West Jerusalem alike. How do I not get tired of yapping? Because that's what I do. Pretty much. I write. I'm a writer by trade, right? I write and I yap. And I do a lot of both. Have you tried DMT? No, I want to at some point when I'm called to it. I haven't been called to it. I've been offered DMT. And I said, maybe, if the opportunity presents itself and I'm called to it, then yes. Yes, I would. I don't dig raisins in my chicken, says Kevin. Hey, nor do I. I don't eat raisins or chicken. But if I did eat chicken, I think I wouldn't want raisins. Other dried fruit, maybe. Raisins, no, I like it. I used to like it more in rice. Couscous, right? Things like that. Love from New York, my brother. That's nice. Thanks, Jigajiwe. It's good to see you again. You write? Yes, I am, Justin. I am a screenwriter by trade. I haven't done that for a living in a very long time. I'm a copywriter, content writer, blogger, editor. That's what I do for a living. So if you need something done with words, I'm your man. Hit me up. I'll be your wordsmith. What's your personal understanding of eternal life? That there is no such thing. Eternity is a relative term to those who are not eternal. Eternal life is the phase creation will shift into after we partake of the fruit of the tree of life. Remember kindly that the fruit of the tree of life was put under guard. The tree itself, the path to it, was put under guard. The fruit was never forbidden, not in Eden nor outside of Eden. All God did was put the guards that will become guides in due season. And so eternal life, in that sense, is life as a singularity, not life as opposed to death, not womb to tomb. That's a duality. It's life as a singularity, right? It's world of knowledge of good and evil, duality. A world of the tree of life, singularity. All right. Definitely a screenwriter. Yes, I am. I'm a screenwriter. I went to film school here in Jerusalem on a screenwriting track. I love words. I love images. I love bringing them together in my mind. I love writing, even in my day job, right? As a copywriter, a marketing writer, content writer, blogger, editor. I love the idea of creating narrative and evoking emotion with words. Words are, like George Carlin said, they are my work, they're my passion, they're my play. I can't stand the smell of ketamine, Joe says. Well, the only ketamine I've ever been near is when I was a field medic, and we used to use, not we, the doctor, I used to facilitate it. The doctors used to use ketamine in different field surgeries and stuff. Or we simply had it because I was part maybe of one or two field surgeries in my life. Uh, I think one. At any rate, ketamine was used for intubation at the time. Maybe it's not what is used now. Why are you living in so unhygienic way? Says Squad Gorilla. Actually, I have pretty good hygiene. The beard and the hair I let grow wild. The rest of me is pretty well and groomed. Why not groom yourself? Well, I guess I just answered. Yes, I do. But the hair is the hair of a Nazarite, so I let it grow wild and free. The beard is the beard of a Hebrew man, which I have never shaved. Right? This is my original growth. Hence the wildness. Also, as somebody from work called me yesterday, I am a wild pirate. Arr! Emmy says, how should one reconcile waiting until marriage and sexual purity with the new dating culture and problems with dating and shtetl dating, shomer negia? Well, look, a couple of things. First, I met my wife on the street at 16. We married at 20. We were the first everything for each other. So there was no problem there. I was waiting until marriage gladly and wonderfully. As for sexual purity, that can be a problem because I'm a very sexual creature, but I also do believe in some amount of cleanliness and some amount of purity, be it the purity with oneself, be it purity between a man and his woman, right? Taharat mishpacha. We don't keep Shiva Nikiim, by the way, because reasons. Shiva Nikiim is a chumrah. We do not keep Shiva Nikiim unless there is a chashash ziva gdola or ktana, but menstruation blood is not ziva. It's only a chumrah, right? The daughters in the times of Rabbi Zera. Zera or Zaira? Zera. Zayin Yod Resh Aleph. That was a chumrah that was instantiated and became mainstream. Point is, I don't know the new dating culture. I've never been on a date in my life with somebody who is not my woman. So I have no idea. Pretty much. That's how I view it, because I have no idea. No idea at all. אתה גר בתל אביב? שלילי, אני גר בירושלים. פינה? Miroshnik. Miroshnik is a nice name. We appreciate you doing this Q&A. Yeah, Marcus, that's what I'm here for. It's all good. I love the Q&A. I love it. Do the dreadlocks form on their own, or it takes a concise effort? No, Nimpimski. They form on their own. These are natural, organic, free-form Nazarite dreadlocks. That's it. I mean, I have a few babies growing right now. This one is the more mature baby of the lot. I have a couple of others growing, just sort of coming together here in the back, just beginning to knot up a little bit. So yeah. Can you tell something bootstrap paradox? Yes, the bootstrap paradox, I believe what you mean is in Hebrew, ein mezarzin ela lemezorazin, which means you do not hasten, but those who are already in haste. Something like that. So the question is, where do you start? It's a circle. It has no beginning. It has no end. So where do you start? The answer is here and now. That is the answer to the bootstrap paradox, if I'm understanding the paradox correctly. It's doing what you can with the tools that are available and at your disposal here and now. Not tomorrow, not even later today. Do something. Write something down, even if on your phone. Utter something, because words become being. Emmy says, how can one keep anything if one picks and chooses what fits them? Ma? Isn't that the entire idea of dilution of values based off how one feels? Well, I think the idea is that you can pick and choose if you wish. The question is, what is it you're picking? What is it you're choosing? And I've been a shomer negiah, since you mentioned it, ever since I was 18. And it's one of the only things in the world that from the moment I started doing it, I didn't grow up a shomer negiah. I took it on when I was 18. And I haven't stopped. I'm still a shomer negiah. And it's one of those things where from the moment that I started practicing shmirat negiah, it has transformed the way that I view myself, the way that I view touch and intimacy of the touching variety, and definitely the respect that I have for the fairer sex of women, female, humans. So those are my ideas on shmirat negiah, that it's an amazing thing. And I've found great value and benefit from it and within it, walking that path. As for the dilution of values, yes, which is why it's better to pick and choose the higher values. If you're going to stick a flag in the ground and have a hill to die on, let it be the right flag on the right hill that you will die on, Is it subjective? Yes. Does it have to do with feelings? Yes. And that is where Torah comes into the picture and says, yes, you have your feelings, all well and good. What is it that you're doing? What are you doing? Feelings are designed to bypass the intellect. Feelings are designed to bypass logical, straightforward thinking. It's a chemical reaction. Okay. Let's continue. Sure? Yes, it's over there on the counter. Informar? Beseda. All right, you know what? I've been on for a long time. I think I'm going to say goodbye. Whoa! Jake fasted for over 40 days. Almost killed me, but it's possible. Yes, it is, and commendable. I hope you were in touch with a nutritionist or physician or dietitian. I hope you treated yourself right. I hope you were able to integrate back into non-fasting, being. Do you have the Holy Spirit? I don't know what that means. Define Holy Spirit, and I will tell you if I have it. Or first of all, that's one of the things where if you have it, you don't got it. If you got it, you don't have it. Right? It's the kind of thing where it's like, oh, I have it. It's something that you are. It's something that you exude. It's something that manifests in how you live and how you speak and what you wear and what you do, Okay. What do you do for work? I'm a writer. Totally not real. That's what I do for work. I'm a wordsmith, a man of words. That's what I do. Okay. Be blessed. Be a blessing to others. Be the light in other people's lives. Be the reason why people say, oh, there's some good in the world. Oh, there's some, righteousness in the world. Be that guy. Be that gal. I'll see you, God willing, on the next live stream where the wonders never cease. A quick prayer for unity. May war, may bloodshed, may terrorism, may conflict be lifted clean out of creation, even right now as I'm speaking these words. May God's Spirit cover all of us, everything, all flesh, all creation, like water covers the seabed. And may we be able to overcome our differences. May we be able to overcome our weaknesses. May we be able to overcome our shortcomings and embrace each other as human beings made in the image of God, creations, earthlings, under a banner of love and peace, prosperity and righteousness and justice, humility. May all of it come. May all of it be manifested even right now as I am saying it. And if I missed you in the chat, leave a comment. If you don't want to leave a comment, hit me up in the DMs. Hebrew Nazarite, look for my tree. I'm on X, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram. I appreciate your time, your kind and gentle attention, the likes, the subs, the views, the lovers, the haters, the Nazis, the trolls, the spam. It's really great. I love having the discussions. I love engaging. I love the fact that the energy here is always so lovely and so enlivening. And for that, you have my thanks. Anything else? No, I don't think so. See you on the next live stream where the wonders never cease. To life, L'chaim. Last drop.